It's AFL live from the park, and what better way to start the season? Hawthorn versus Geelong, a replay of last year's unforgettable grand final. Shabby pre-season form and a host of injuries have placed a question mark over the status of the two clubs. But today's occasion should bring out the very best. Brereton, Dunstall, Langford and Ayres lead the Hawthorn assault, whilst the Cats have a big chance with Ablett, Couch, Linder and Stoneham. It's been 5 long years since Geelong defeated the Hawks. Will today be their day, or will the men from Glenferrie Oval prevail again? Hawthorn versus Geelong, the big match on 7 Sport, AFL Live. Hawthorn streaming into attack, leading 1-1 to Geelong yet to score. Jenke, the man who kicked the goal, after a mistake from Baldwin. And as we said, a great crowd in for this replay of the grand final, and the Hawks have got a chance here. Whitman with some space. He's got Anderson short and also Morrissey. Take your pick. Morrissey. Will he play on? Brereton on a lead. Won't find him. Yates and Brereton. Cameron tries to get it up. Can't. Oh, Brereton's tackle was a beauty. And it'll be a ball up.
He didn't have much chance of getting out of that, did he?
No, that was a brilliant tackle laid by Duma Brereton.
7 points, the Hawks. Geelong yet to score. It's in Hawthorn's left forward pocket. Gary Cameron. Not much control over the ball, so we'll have a boundary throw in. Only a metre around from the Hawthorn goal. Jenke, the Hawthorn goal scorer. Big punch by the ruck players there, goes through for another score to Hawthorn. So they're 1-2-8. Geelong are yet to score. And Bernie, we've been discussing the sizes of the Geelong players in defence. Do you think it's a worry for them?
Yes, their defence is a big worry, especially with Mark Boss's retirement. And they've always struggled in defence, had a lot of points kicked against them last season. Their forward line very strong, but this is where they could be found out.
Darcy, Denham and Couch combined to get it to Gary Cameron. Gary Cameron's quick kick up towards wing. A good gather by John Kennedy. The hand pass to Madigan's a little too high for that player, but he's got good backup support in Pritchard. Off to McGuinness and the Hawks. The teamwork, magnificent stuff. Condon's in the centre. Condon goes to half forward, wide. It's not bad, the short chip pass. Morris. Has he been paid?
Sheparding free kick against Hawthorn.
Against Morrissey maybe there, because Morris, the centre half forward, was in a good position to take the mark. So the free kick will go back to Gurry, the youngster for Geelong, number 48, coming from St Peter's. Michael Gurry played a couple of senior games towards the end of last year in the overseas trip.
Kick not good. Deer's handle very slow, but finally finds its mark to Condon. Morris playing his first game in 2 years. Denham. Deer brushes him aside. Pritchard hip and shoulder on him from Yates. Malakalis. Geelong are being hustled and bustled, just as they were in the first quarter last year. Cameron's handle only as far as Baldwin. Now Christensen should set it up. Here's the Brownlow medalist, Couch. Ablett. Too far for him. Almost Brownless. Stoneham. Ayres barges his way through. Kennedy throws it away. Tuck. Ablett taps it on cleverly. Hocking. And they swoop on Hocking, as you'd expect them to. Condon. Ayres. Gee, it's fast and ferocious. It's hard to get a kick. And still the Cats can't make any ground. They've had to concede. Now Baldwin goes wide, and he should find Axel. Doesn't take it. Langford to Ayres, and the experience of the Hawks.
Oh, what a nifty little hand pass there from Langford to Ayres. The understanding, magnificent. The ball on centre wing with Whitman. Whitman's left foot kick into the forward pocket. Out comes Dunstall in front of Darcy. Darcy trying very hard not to give the free kick away. The ball close to the line. Now it goes over. A free kick has been picked out of it. It's against Dunstall for holding Yates, the recipient of the free kick. Mark Yates picking up Dermot Brereton. The ball towards halfback, between halfback and centre wing. Gatherers by Condon. Short left foot kick marked by Denham. Curran a little late on the scene there, couldn't do much about it, so Denham now, his kick up to centre wing. Big punch away by Collins. Deer as well tackled. The tackling magnificent in the early part. And obviously both coaches placing a great emphasis on tackling, effective tackling, and the players carrying it out on the field.
So Deere and Flanagan are with the Hawks with a slight advantage. Anderson. Tuck was with him. Christensen. High drop punt. Madigan, Stoneham and Lindner set themselves. Kennedy. Stoneham did very well. Lindner off the ground. Langford takes a chance. Ablett. Excellent Ablett. Exel goes backwards. Cameron's long handball to Ablett. He takes them on. Left foot not good. And it'll be a free kick to Hawthorn.
And there's one player I think we'll see receiving plenty of attention this afternoon, Gary Ablett, because he can win a game off his own boot. He's such a brilliant player.
Forwards magnificent so far, both sides, putting lots of pressure on to keep the ball in. Kennedy short kick. Condon somehow on his own. The kick high to centre wing. Good mark taken by Paul Deere and Flanagan, perhaps frustrated. Could nearly have given away 50 there.
He's working very hard, Paul Deere. He's giving away a lot of inches to Flanagan, but he's moving around the ground well and offering another target for the Hawks.
Not really the percentage kick into the centre, but the Hawks are up to it. Collins gathers, kicks towards centre half forward. Really not to his forwards advantage. Yates chips in, kicks it out wide in front of Stoneham. Experience in Stoneham's favour. He slips over in front of Madigan. A hand pass wide. Baldwin collects the ball, kicks it across his body. Gathers about 45 metres up towards half forward. Excel. Langford in front with strength and experience. Kennedy off to Tuck. Tuck surveys the scene, chips it short to Condon. Condon takes the mark. He's got a player on his own in the centre. It's Pritchard. Pritchard just wide of centre. Another player in support is McGuinness. One bounce. The long-legged McGuinness lopes away and kicks it into the forward pocket. Dunstall can't mark. Perhaps the early season taking its effect there. Dunstall after it again. A free kick has been given. Geelong player not moving it on. Free kick goes to Hawthorn.
Yes, and we've seen a lot of that in the pre-season competition, the Foster's Cup, where the players should have learnt if they're over the ball, they must make some sort of effort to get rid of it because the umpires will pay free kicks. Here we see the Geelong player with the ball caught under him. It is a tough rule, but the players must really make that effort to knock it out.
Morris from 45 metres. Didn't play at all last year. Drop punt. And he's missed it. Brereton had a chance. And it's a behind. So 1-3. Hawthorn, 9 points. And the Cats yet to score.
Great effort by Russell Morris to get back into this Hawthorn side, even though they've got a few players out through injury, but a great fight back by Russell Morris.
Darcy, who's got the job on Dunstall. And this lack of height showing up from the kick-ins. They keep going short and wide, Geelong. Malakalis, who's playing on Pritchard, to the centre. Looks for Hocking. And Hocking takes a very good mark. Hawthorn fans give him a raspberry, remembering last year's grand final. Kennedy over the back of Lindner. Collins has handled very good. Kennedy's having a good first term. So's Condon. That's kick number 6 for him. Into the 50 metres. Brereton at the back. Well done by Gurry. Chips a little one. Denham takes the mark. So two of the inexperienced players combining. Now he's got Lindner. Decides to go to centre half forward. Stoneham in the front. And he takes a good mark. Not paid. Thought he might have held on to it. Condon goes wide and Brereton will get his first kick.
Rebound football there. The Hawks obviously a little fortunate, but they have the ball between wing and half forward. The kick by Brereton, looking for Curran. Oh, he's dragged off the ball by Yates. Okay, says the field umpire, throw it in. So the players about 65 metres around from the Hawthorn goal. Geelong yet to score. The Hawks have kicked 1 goal 3. The goal scorer, Jenke. Yates under pressure. Brereton gathers the ball pretty well, but it's smothered as he goes for the hand pass, and we'll have a boundary throw in.
It's an interesting matchup too, Yates and Brereton, after the fireworks at the start of last year's grand final.
Yes, nothing has happened so far. Up over the top was Curran. Diving on it, Gurry. Desperate stuff. Christensen tapping it out was Curran. The ball finishes with Baldwin. Baldwin's got 15 metres and kicks it up towards half forward. Stoneham gets his hands on it once again. So does Madigan. He's well tackled by Denham. The ball runs free. Denham, good gather. Round onto the left foot. Denham's left foot kick towards centre half forward. Ablett. Well, you know he's near the ball when you hear the crowd go ooh and ah, and it's Gary Ablett from 50 metres.
Yes, if that man has a run at the ball, Gary Ablett, he's almost unstoppable.
2 grabs at it, but he's got the kick 50 metres from goal. No trouble with the distance. Accuracy is perfect.
And who better to kick the first goal for Geelong in the 90s than Gary Ablett? He kicked 8 at this ground in the preliminary final against Essendon, and then 9 in the grand final after kicking 7 in the first semi-final. It was a remarkable performance. Now, something's happening here with the umpires. I think everything's in order. Peter Carey went and spoke to Stephen Hocking, or Gary Cameron it might have been, but everything's okay. So the Hawks lead 9-6. Deere and Flanagan. Flanagan easily, but only as far as Whitman. Yates. Morris cleverly. Anderson with a chance. Darcy takes the chance. Dunstall. Brereton, oh, he gets rid of Darcy. Short by Dunstall. Condon couldn't make it. Hocking. Hip and shoulder on him. Oh, Brereton again with Darcy. And Dermott might have been a bit lucky there. He didn't collect him, I think. To centre half forward. Curran not paid. Morrissey with a chance. Hocking's got him. Now Pritchard. Deep in the pocket. Oh, gee, Darcy missed him. I think it was a square up. And a great tackle by Schultz as Hocking with one bounce. And now it's on behind play. Pritchard's into it, and a couple of the Geelong players. And it's been simmering in, I reckon, for about 10 minutes. And now it's exploding.
Yep, great stuff. Ball on centre wing. Stoneham. Good gather. The fumbles are there, though. Boy, these guys going in for it. There's another dust-up. Collins and Whitman into it. Malakalis from centre half forward. The kick is short. Langford can't smother it. Exel. Hand pass. Denham. Exel again. Look at the ball. Is that hot? Collins in the last line of defence. The umpires picked a free kick. It looks like going to Geelong. It could be Gary Cameron. God, gee whiz, wasn't that tackling fierce on the Hawthorn full forward line?
There's a couple of slow ones thrown there too. Which
oh, what the recovery of Tim Darcy from a heavy Brereton bump was magnificent stuff. Cameron's short kick. Player on his own, Brownless. Having a chuckle to himself, Gary Ayres. Brownless will shoot from only 25 metres out directly in front.
It's unforgivable there that Gary Ayres was not picking up his man.
Brownless shoots for goal and makes no mistake.
By 3 points as Deere and Flanagan go at it again. Whitman. Half a handball. Cameron, it doesn't sit. Morrissey, freakish, round his body. Curran. Quick handball to Deere, who is working very hard. Morris. So Morris has been useful. Brereton short, Dunstall deep. He's going to go towards Dunstall. It won't make it. Malakalis should take it, and he does. So Geelong have withstood this charge from Hawthorn early and are 3 points in front. Flanagan. Big man couldn't take it. Baldwin. They swoop on him. Lindner Shepherd for Cameron. Gurry. It sits. One bounce. Short drop punt. Exel. Langford did it superbly. Lindner fell over. Kennedy another handball. Langford. Well played. Drop punt's a good one to centre half forward.
Oh, Geelong player in front. Schultz did well to stand his ground. Very difficult marking contest. The kick by Baldwin was a good one, but he was interfered with just as he kicked it, so the umpire had awarded a free kick. Gary Hocking, the kick towards half forward. Geelong mark again. It's Gary Ablett. What magnificent hands he's got out in front of his body. And Bernie, I know you've probably kicked a few from here, but you'd give him a chance, wouldn't you?
A rough chance only, I think. He's a long way out. If he got onto a torpedo, he might have a chance, but I don't think he'd make it with a drop punt.
Gee, I love the way this guy kicks the football. He's tried the torpedo, not quite. Into the pocket, nearly a Hawthorn mark. Madigan, the umpire, calls for a bounce. It's only metres from the Geelong goal. And Stephen Hocking, Bruce, did win the toss and elect to kick. down to that main scoreboard end, and I was just looking at the flags. Perhaps the wind is slightly favouring that end.
Cats lead by 3 points. Brownless over the top. Tuck paddles it close to the boundary line, still not out, and Deer thumps it over. Well, Condon's had 6 kicks, or 7 kicks and 2 handballs. It's Barry Stoneham. Absolutely ideal conditions, and this game has been played at a fierce and ferocious pace. Deer and Flanagan. Gow's dropping out of the Hawthorn side. Langford safely to the boundary line, and again a ball in. So Exel and Langford, who last year went on to Gary Ablett in that great last quarter of the grand final. McGuinness given the job again today as he was early. Ablett over the top, trying to repeat what he did at the MCG, and Langford concedes a behind. So Geelong 2-1, Hawthorn 1-3.
Gee, I thought McGuinness was good there, the way he stopped Ablett from getting it away without giving the kick away.
Yes, he's working hard, McGuinness, and he's very aware of what Ablett can do.
Ayres kicks it in outside 50 metres. Hawthorn mark, all players misjudging it. Morrissey chips in and takes a fairly simple chest mark. The kick into the centre, looking to the advantage of Curran, gathering it. The clever Couch, back onto the right foot. Kick towards half forward, ball bounces. Stoneham. Chance for Exel. Can he break clear? Good tackle by Kennedy. Condon. Wild hand pass. Madigan's on the end of it. Gives it to Morrissey. Morrissey, no one in support, so has to kick with the left foot up towards Pritchard. Malacallis does pretty well. Pritchard nearly gives the free kick away. Malacallis perseverance. Baldwin. Left foot kick by Baldwin. Up towards half forward. Again the ball bounces in free ground. Exel. He's given 3 or 4 good hand passes away. This is another good one. Ablett, goal!
In the centre, Geelong 19, Hawthorn 9. Ablett with 2 goals. Stoneham. Denham. Cameron. He'll have a shot. High drop punt. It's good. Touched. Oh, Ayres did a job there. And the Cats with a little run on here, Bernie. 3-2 to 1-3.
It's very important. They got the ball out of the middle there, and they're running players down to the forward line quickly with a lot of open space.
Ayres to bring her back in. One of the Hawthorn champions in the 80s. Nearly first man picked every Thursday night. Deer takes the mark. Plays on. Little right footer. Looks for Whitman. Hocking wearing him like a glove. Baldwin has been very impressive. Denham out of bounds, and it'll be a throw in.
You mentioned, Bernie, that Geelong are getting it out of the centre. The Hawks really missing Greg Deer, aren't they, at this
Well,
stage?
they are. Paul Deer is working very hard in the ruck, and he is causing Flanagan a lot of trouble around the ground, but he's just not tall enough to complete those centre square bounces.
Tuck can't break clear. He's pulled off the ball unfairly, according to the umpire. When I say unfairly, obviously Michael Tuck didn't have control of the ball, so he will take the free kick between half-back and centre wing. The little chip goes to Jenke. Jenke has kicked Hawthorn's only goal so far. That's a mark, a Hawthorn mark to Brereton, standing his ground. The kick to the advantage of Pritchard in the pocket is a good one. He'll run onto it and have a shot for goal. Pritchard goes bang and kicks it. Great play.
Clever kick there by Dermot Brereton. So it's Geelong now by 5 points. But Dermot Brereton taking a one-handed mark, not worrying about getting back and kicking long. He saw Pritchard running there into the forward pocket, unattended. And Pritchard with a good show of pace there, under a little bit of pressure there from the Geelong player, but made no mistake, a good goal there by Hawthorn.
2-3 to 3-2. The Cats by 5 points. Denham. Ablett. McGuinness still with him. Oh, Ablett cleans up Cameron. His own man. They're both all right. Tuck. Third kick. Gurry with Curran. Morrissey. Curran again. He's caught. Gee, I thought it could have been holding the ball. Baldwin, who's had a lot of touches. And Cons, and it'll be a throw in. So not a lot happening on that outer wing for a moment there, but Hawthorn 2-3, Geelong 3-2.
one thing, Tucky's still valuable, isn't he?
Sure is. 36 years of age, 384 league games. Baldwin couldn't take it. Denham. And it's going to be a free kick to Baldwin. So Baldwin, who's made a good start here, Peter Baldwin, playing his first game. This is... No, he's not going to take it. Some confusion. Goes to Denham. No, it will go to Baldwin. Now we'll be right. Take 3. Start all over again. Baldwin, 6 kicks so far. Hocking, interfered with. He's got to get the free kick. Collins in his back.
It was a shocking kick into the forward line there from Baldwin.
That was a bad effort there by Andrew Collins too, I thought. Maybe he stumbled, do you think,
stumbled,
Bernie?
I think, yeah. There may be an excuse there for him, but I think he did stumble and then gave the free kick away.
Hocking from 60 metres out. Ablett leads at centre-half forward. Exel leads as well. Ablett leads to the pocket. That's where Hocking goes. Well, it's like a moving train, isn't it? It's almost impossible to stop. If you can find some space, Bernie, and you can kick it in the right spot, it's almost 100%.
Well, that was the main problem there as far as Hawthorn were concerned. They didn't have players in there filling up the gaps and allowed the Geelong leading players, on that occasion Ablett, plenty of room to manoeuvre in.
Well, he's on a difficult angle, and he's about 40 metres out, maybe 35, tucked away in the pocket, the wrong side for a right footer. But if you'd back anyone in the competition from a set shot, you'd back this man. Let's see how he goes. Drop punt. Miss. Doesn't miss too many. 2-1 to Ablett, and it's 3-3 to 2-3. The Cats by a goal.
Already Brucey's had 4 shots at goals. He's kicked 2-1 and 1 out of bounds on the full. And I think it may be now time to put this man, Chris Langford, on Gary Ablett, because he did the job fairly well in that last year's grand final.
Langford kicks it in, and Kennedy, well, I would have thought that Kennedy gave the kick away. The umpire has seen it. Well, I don't know. I always think that if you're in front, you should be given the chance to put your backside out and stop the player getting at you.
I agree with you there, Ian. I think that Bruce Linden just held his ground, and the player there ran into the back of him. I think it should have been a free kick. Kennedy, yes, should have been a free kick to Linden.
The play on centre wing now. The kick goes up towards half forward for Geelong, and Stoneham. Gee, it's a big job that Madigan's got to try and restrain this man. Barry Stoneham's kick to the front of the square. Discipline, and Brownless, who can take a mark, does just that, only 15 metres out directly in front. She's an exciting player, Billy Brownless.
He is a tremendous player, and he's got a little bit of height, too much height there for Gary Ayres.
The Brownless, who's kicked 1, has now kicked 2.
The Cats 4-3, the Hawks 2-3. Langford out onto Ablett, as Bernie suggested he might. McGuinness has gone on to Exel. So right now Geelong have got a lot of options up forward, and Hawthorn are a little shell-shocked. Couch trying to break away, and it'll be another ball up. Brownlow medalist of last year. A quiet start. Tuck playing on him. Again, Deere and Flanagan. Gurry, who's been pretty impressive. Hip and shoulder by Condon against Cameron. Anderson, back to Jenke. Drop punt. Morris, who's been busy, goes to Curran and Dunstall in the goal square. And conceding Hocking. So 2-4 to 4-3. Jason Dunstall has had a few opportunities today. Just not quite at top form. But one of the great full forwards. He's kicked over 100 goals in the last couple of years now. Leads left, right and centre for Darcy. That's what he's waiting for. Goes high, hoping for Flanagan. Malakalis reads it well. Then chips a drop punt. Lindner, who's been quiet. Kennedy's done the job there. Stoneham and Langford. Madigan. Still Madigan. Clever. Kennedy again. He's had half a dozen handballs. Langford round his body. Morris. Anderson. Drop punt. Pritchard. Gets him. And plays on to Morris or Curran. Whitman make it. Drop punt. Puts it through. 3-4 to 4-3.
And fantastic play there by Darren Pritchard. He took a very courageous mark wasted no time. As soon as he hit the ground, he was looking for running players running past. There's that mark again. He didn't know what was coming at him. And as soon as he hit the ground, the hand pass was away to Chris Whitman. And a good running goal from about 40 metres out.
What a great game this is turning out to be. I think we've been waiting for this for a few weeks. Geelong and Hawthorn. 5 points the difference. The Cats get clear out of the centre again. Gary Cameron, a direct kick towards full forward. One out, Brownless. At the back, McGuinness does pretty well to recover. The right foot kick, which is not bad considering he's a natural left footer. Langford can't do much with it, just inside 50 metres, so we'll have a boundary throw in. Big crowd here at VFL Park for the opening game. Under a minute left in the first term. Flanagan and Deere, who have done most of the ruck contests in the first quarter. Gary Hocking at the back is Tuck. Left foot kick in towards the centre. Morris tries to spoil Schultz. Disappointed with himself. Schultz takes the mark. Schultz, who was picked on the interchange bench but took his place in the 18. The ball at the back, Ablett. Sneaky little hand pass to Gary. Gary's kick towards goal. It's a goal! Great kick by Gary. So Geelong have got that 2-goal buffer again. The Cats 5-3, 33. Hawthorn 3-4, 22.
And good work there by Billy Brownless in the goal square, shepherding that one through. There's that man again, Gary Ablett, getting the hand pass, quick hand pass to Gary. And Billy Brownless, good work there, just was able to keep McGuinness away from the ball and allow it to go through for the goal.
There's Michael Gurry. Very much a rookie in this Geelong side. The bounce back in the centre. Not much play left, but Flanagan gets it out again. Stoneham can't control it. Gary Hocking on the bottom of the pack. Umpire calls for a bounce and perhaps could be the last passage of play before quarter time. And there is the siren. It is quarter time at VFL Park in the match of the day. And Geelong lead by 11 points. The Cats 5-3, 33. Hawthorn 3-4, 22.
Geelong leads by 11 points at quarter time, 5-3, 33. Hawthorn 3-4, 22. Ablett and Brownless the main goal scorers, 2 apiece for the Cats. So after Alan Jeans looking on, Hawthorn started pretty well, Bernie. Got the first goal of the game. Geelong steadied, and they've been on top for the last 20 minutes of that first quarter.
Well, they did. They really dominated the first part of the game, Hawthorn. But Geelong in that second part, when they started to win the ball out of the centre, it turned out that their forwards were getting on top and had plenty of opportunities. Have a look at the match stats. Kicks fairly even. Handballs well in favour of Hawthorn. Marks again in favour of Hawthorn. Free kicks even. And the hit-outs in favour of Geelong, of course, with Flanagan's height advantage over Deere.
So they're the match stats on the first quarter. And other games around Victoria, North Melbourne and Melbourne at the MCG. Melbourne away to a great start, 6-2-38. North Melbourne 2-4-17. The Bombers 7-4-46 at Windy Hill lead Fitzroy 3-1-19. And at Princess Park, Carlton 6-5-41 lead Sydney 2-1-13. So Carlton lead clearly, Melbourne lead clearly, Essendon lead clearly. Geelong 11 points in front as we join Michael Roberts on the boundary line.
Well, thanks, Bruce. And actually standing out in the middle of the ground, the flags mightn't indicate it, but there is a slight advantage with the wind going down to the main scoreboard end. Both coaches pretty relaxed about their sides. Alan Jeans praised his players for their early work, but didn't capitalise with the amount of times they had it down on the forward line. Malcolm Blythe said you cannot afford to make mistakes against Hawthorn, otherwise they'll crucify you. And he said if everyone works together, get it out of the centre, down into the forward line, we've got plenty of options, we should take this game out.
So the second quarter about to start.
Interesting to see Tuck in the centre square at the start of this second term. Bruce?
He's been near Couch throughout this first quarter. Been tagging Couch. Couch has only had a couple of touches, 2 kicks. And Michael Tuck himself has had 4 kicks. 20th season. There's the Brownlow medalist, Paul Couch. Ablett being picked up by Langford. Stoneham by Madigan. Brownless by McGuinness. Ayres on Exel.
Couch, who was a guest on the Sports World show last Sunday, didn't play in the last practice match due to a bit of a shoulder injury. Just wonder whether that might be curtailing him a little bit.
Well, I think we shouldn't forget Michael Tuck. He's amazing for a man of his age in so many games. He does all the training, and he never gives his opponent any breathing space.
Start of the second quarter, Geelong 33, Hawthorn 22. Flanagan from the left and Deer from the right. Flanagan wins it. Anderson. High left foot. Be a tough one. Morris in the front spot. Flanagan's handball intercepted by Anderson. Cameron. Still with Cameron. Tries to get it clear. And it's going to be a baller. So just nothing much happening there in the centre square. Anderson with a high kick round his body, but almost impossible to mark. Now Flanagan wins it comfortably. Baldwin, who had a lot of kicks in that first quarter, Stoneham didn't quite take it. Ablett went over the top. Still Ablett. His recovery was excellent. Left foot with power. Ayres, Exel, Brownless, Collins. Now Ayres, high ball. Tuck, Couch, and Malacallis takes the mark. Ayres' kick had a fair bit on it, and Malacallis read it well. He's got leads left, right and centre. Takes Tuck on. Wobbly left foot, not a good one. Linder had it punched away. Brownless, deep in the pocket, tries to barge through to Malacallis. Can run all the way. Drop punt, misses behind.
Yeah, that Spiro Malacallis is doing a good job for Geelong.
He's a good little player, well-built, Rover, and very busy.
8 possessions so far. At that rate, could finish up with 30 plus for the match. The kicking in has been done by Madigan, close to the line. It may even bounce over. No, it doesn't. Langford keeps it in. Now he goes over. And the boundary umpire in a superb position to make that decision. Chris Langford. Boundary throw in about 65 metres around from the Geelong goal. The ball at the rear now. Anderson. Jenkins well tackled. So is Cameron. Anderson again. Left foot kick across his body. The mark is taken by Whitman on centre wing. He plays on quickly, kicks it up towards centre half forward. Curran can't mark, but he's quick to recover. Gets the hand pass, it's slick. Pritchard, short pass, brilliant. Dunstall. And Pritchard runs back to congratulate Peter Curran because, boy, was that hand pass slick stuff. Dunstall has yet to kick a goal. He makes no mistake with this one.
Goal, Deer and Flanagan. Couch. It wouldn't sit for him. Malacallis throws it out. And it was a throw. Condon. No, it's got to come back. So Morris will take the kick. Curran will relay it. Morris, who missed the whole of last year, has made a great comeback to senior football. Long drop punt. Dunstall and Darcy. And one out, he's hard to beat. Use that big body of his.
Yes, Bruce, there's that strength of Jason Dunstall. And one out, as you said, there's very little chance that Tim Darcy, there wasn't much he could do. Here's that strength of Jason Dunstall, holding Darcy out with one arm, the left arm, and then taking the strong chest mark.
Well, he kicked the goal 60 seconds ago. Will he make it two? Drop punt. Misses just to the left. 4-5 to 5-4. 1-1 for Dunstall.
Yates. Mark Yates kicks straight up the ground. Nice looking kick too. Tuck in front. And judged it pretty well, Michael Tuck. The ball sat a little bit. Kicking into the wind, the Cats. Slight breeze. Tuck goes for the torpedo punt kick up towards full forward. Dunstall has marked the ball in the middle of a pack of 4 players as though there was no one around him.
That was an amazing mark, wasn't it, Ian? In between the 2 Geelong players, and there's Johnny Platten, the Hawthorn champion Hawthorn Rover, out injured at the moment. And getting back to Jason Dunstall, an amazing mark.
Dunstall now from only 5 metres. He doesn't miss many from there.
So the Hawks a point in front after the Cats led by 11 at quarter time. Dunstall, a great start to the second term with 2 goals. Jenke. Cameron. Jenke's got him. Madigan. Condon. Cameron. Couch. Kennedy, Linda did well. And Ablett's got a chance. Langford with him. It's a good kick by Ablett round his body. And Brownless takes it. It was a great kick by Ablett with power around his body. And Brownless's mark was a beauty.
Yes, Gary Ablett there favoured by the bounce. But a great mark there by Billy Brownless in front. Strongly to the chest.
He's kicked 2 and he's kicked 3. Geelong 6-4, Hawthorn 5-5.
Well, this game's living up to what we expected. 2 champion sides from last season. We're seeing a great exhibition of forward play by that man there, Billy Brownless, and Gary Ablett, who delivered the ball to him. And also up the other end, Jason Dunstall, who's kicked 2 goals at the start of this third quarter. Good play there by Ablett, delivering the ball into perfect position right in front of the goal square. Didn't worry about kicking long or towards the goals. He kicked long, but not towards the goals. He directed the ball to where Brownless was going for the mark.
And Scott McGuinness, who was a state representative last year, having an awful day so far. Having started on Ablett, now on Brownless. Not necessarily as Brownless kicked his 3 on McGuinness, but certainly a handful up there in the full forward line. Flanagan goes for the ruck contest. There's been a free kick being picked out of it. It's going to Anderson. Anderson right in the centre of VFL Park. Kicks it towards centre half forward. No mark. Swooping on it was Morrissey. He's well tackled by Christensen. Umpire deems that there was no chance for the ball to be given out. There's James Morrissey. One of the lesser lights, but a very skillful player at Hawthorn. Schultz over the top. Kicked by Baldwin, clear. Cameron, tackled by Jenke, but he's still able to get his hand pass away. Yates, he gives the hand pass into the clear now to Gary Hocking. He has a little bit of space. Opportunity to bounce twice. Hand pass over the top is not bad. It's with Couch. And out goes back to Gary Hocking. Gary Hocking's kick high. Centre half forward. And a great mark taken by Langford. And all of the skills of Australian rules football being shown by both of these sides. Langford's kick over towards the centre. Condon really goes past it. Over the top, the hand pass comes to Ayres. It came from Deere. Over to Condon. Condon's kick into the half-forward area. Morris is on his own. Morris's disciplined kick to the front of the square. Brereton over the top. Morrissey. It's punched away by the Geelong defence. Stephen Hocking. Hand passes it off to Gurry. Gurry into the centre. There's a loose player there for the Cats. It's Couch.
Couch from the centre. Handball over the top. Gee, Baldwin's going to have to try and crash his way through. Tuck sweeps on it. Tapped on by Pritchard. Not good football by Pritchard. He could have done better. Deere. Stonen. Pritchard again. It's tough and it's willing. Madigan. Couch. Lindner. Oh, should have got a free kick. Back turns. And then kicks us sideways ball towards Brownless. McGuinness with him. Still with Brownless with power. Ayres. Kennedy. That footy is as hot as you'll ever see it. Lindner throws it away. Flanagan. Cameron. And too high.
He was the only bloke that really has grabbed it in the last, 2 minutes. As soon as he grabbed it, down he went.
Oh, it's hot, isn't it, out there?
So Cameron from the centre square. High drop punt. Ablett with a chance. 2 Geelong players fly. And Collins swoops on it and goes short to Condon.
Collins' kick is well gathered by Condon at half-back. The kick towards centre half-forward. Morris can't mark. He's quick to recover. Taps it in front of himself. But doing well there was Denham. Gets it off the Couch. Couch's kick in towards the half-forward area. And the mark is taken by Gary Hocking. And the Hawthorn supporters have got long memories. Gary Hocking chips it in. Ablett takes the mark in front of Langford. The scoreboard, the little scoreboard in the background there, shows the Cats leading by 5 points.
Yes, well, Langford the man with the job now on Ablett, but he couldn't do much about that. A perfect pass. Hit Gary Ablett right on the chest.
Ablett kicking from about 45 metres, so you'll need a 50-metre plus kick to score. The kick goes across the face of the goal square. There's a mark, Geelong mark to Stoneham. Short pass. No, the umpire will call the ball back surely because he's blown time on. Stoneham.
It may be fortunate for Geelong there because the kick was astray.
Well, not a lot of confidence being shown by Barry Stoneham, wanting to kick it away to one of his teammates. The angle very difficult, but he makes it look easy.
So Geelong have got that margin back again. They're 9 points in front. Make that 11, 7-4 to 5-5. Shane Hamilton's on for the Cats. Bruce Lindner off. And John Kennedy picking up Hamilton, who's playing at half forward. Flanagan. Couch, who's had a very busy last 10 minutes. Collins. Good mark in front of Hocking. Plays on. Forced to come back into the centre. Wide to Tuck. Hocking. O'Cameron. Tuck. Anderson. Great football by the veteran. Dunstall. Too high. And Darcy takes it.
Wasn't that great from Michael Tuck there? Just showed his experience, a couple of tap-ons. And, gee, he's fantastic, Michael Tuck, for a player of his age.
He's had 5 kicks today and done some great work. Darcy to the centre wing. Flanagan. Deer against him. Brereton missed it. Yates only as far as Deer. Denham's handball wide. Kennedy, who had a very good first turn. Morrissey. Morris and Schultz. Schultz over the top of Morris. Whitman. And it'll be a ball up 50 metres out. Hawthorn attacking but trailing by 11 points.
And a comment worthwhile passing, I feel, at this stage of the game is that it's being well umpired by Sheehan and Carey. On this occasion, umpire Sheehan bouncing the ball. Curran doing the ruck work. Now he has a kick, Peter Curran, on the left foot. Disciplined across the face. Punched through by Darcy for a behind to Hawthorn.
Discipline all round there, Ian.
There's some terrific stuff by both sides. Peter Schwab in the grandstand there. One of the players who missed the grand final last year because of suspension. There's Dipper Domenico and Gary Buccanaro with Normie Goss, who has been doing some good work off the field for Hawthorn over the years. The kick in. Baldwin can't mark. It's been paid. Didn't hold it for mine, but perhaps the umpire couldn't see from where he was. And Peter Baldwin, there's Dermot Brereton with short hair. The kick goes to Yates. Yates is between half-back and centre wing for the Cats. Mark Yates now drop punt kick, covers 40 metres. Stoneham can't mark. He's all over the top of his opponent. The advantage rule is paid. Jenke comes away with it. Kicks it wide to half forward. Curran is beaten for pace by Gurry, and Gurry does pretty well. Taps it in front of himself over the line for a boundary throw-in. It's about 40 metres around from the Hawthorn goal and well within scoring distance for the Hawks.
7-5 to 5-5. Geelong by 2. Schultz in the front spot. Christensen runs it over the line and we'll have a repeat. Gurry's made a good start with 6 kicks and 1 handball.
And more importantly, his opponent, De Curran's only had 1 kick too, Bruce, so he's doing well there.
Quick handball by Denham. Gurry again. And a ball up. 7-4-5-6, Malcolm Blight. Guess you never relax during a football match. But he'd be reasonably happy with the way Geelong's going at the moment. Leading by a couple of goals and look to be travelling slightly the better. Brereton, who's been quiet. Caught one in the face from Geelong player, and it's
Yates,
on.
Yates is in there too.
They've been niggling all day, Yates and Brereton. Remember the grand final last year at the centre bounce when Dermot was forced to go back into the forward pocket after being flattened.
Well, it was only a matter of time, but there was nothing in that. There was a beautiful tackle there by Yates. And
well, there was something in it then, Bertie.
I'm saying there's nothing in the tackle though, Robbo. It started there from Dermot Brereton. It was a perfect tackle there by Mark Yates. And Dermot was the player that started that.
This might be a hard ball to get, I reckon. They want to get it away in a hurry. And a free kick's going to go to Hawthorn.
Denham throwing the ball.
There's not always justice, is there?
Well, it was always going to be a tough one to get away because they were fired up. So Brereton from over 50 metres with a very long torpedo. Dunstall, did he take it? Through for a behind before he could control it. So it's 5-7 to 7-4. 9 points the difference. Geelong in front.
Tim Darcy now to kick the ball back into play for the Cats. With 12 minutes left in this second term. Looking for players up the field to make some sort of movement. Now elects to go fairly long and fairly direct outside the 50-metre line, but a great mark taken by Paul Deere in front of those 2 or 3 Geelong players. A loose player in the forward pocket, it's Condon. And Condon a chance to kick a goal for Hawthorn. Some slack attention there from the Geelong defenders. Usually a pretty good kick too, Anthony Condon. The angle a little difficult. Drop punt kick. Looks pretty good from here. It's a goal to Hawthorn. Geelong by 3 points. Now on the ground is Lawrence doing the ruck work, and he kept the ball in where it was a good contest. The kick out. Anderson couldn't mark. Jenke couldn't control. Morrissey. Yates stands his ground fiercely. Jenke's little kick to the advantage of Pritchard. It bounces nicely for that player. The short chip is perfect. The Dunstall lead was equally as good. Brilliant play by Hawthorn.
It's a great combination, Pritchard and Dunstall. Cameron almost came across there.
Don't they look alike? You know, from I know Jason Dunstall's a lot bigger, but gee, they're similar the way they play their footy. Dunstall's kick going straight through the centre. Magnificent stuff. Jason Dunstall kicks his 3rd goal, and Hawthorn back in front.
Yes, Jason Dunstall has kicked almost the entire Hawthorn score in this second quarter. 3 goals, 1 for the quarter, and only 1 other point, and that was to Dermot Brereton. But there's good combining there by Pritchard and Dunstall for the second occasion in this quarter, and he leads with the utmost confidence when he sees that Pritchard has the ball.
Stephen Lawrence, 20 years of age, right of screen, playing in his 5th game against Flanagan, and he's giving Hawthorn some height in that centre square. And away the Hawks go again. Christensen though for Geelong. Jenke for the Hawks. Left foot. Brereton. Yates. Off the ground. And Darcy might have been a bit fortunate. They could have gone out of bounds on the fall if Darcy hadn't been there. And it ricocheted off Darcy, and it will be a ball in.
If you ever want to question anyone's courage on a ground, just ask Dermot how he felt backing into that pack then.
Knowing that Mark Yates and Tim Darcy were going to be very, very close. Malakalis. High drop punt. Just hoping that someone might grab it for Geelong. Morrissey running out of room. Tap back by Condon was good. Gee, the take by Whitman was excellent. Half volleyed it. Left foot to centre half forward. Dunstall. Morris missed it. Schulz quickly kicks it away, but there's a lot of Hawks there, and young Lawrence takes the mark. Was going to play on. Tallest player in the Hawthorn side, and not a bad kick. Dunstall in the front. Brereton couldn't get it away, but will get the free kick.
It's too high. Michael Schultz applying the tackle to Dermot Brereton. We see here again just about to take off, and there it is, right across the throat. A definite free kick.
So Hawthorn with a bit of a run on here. They trailed 5-5 to 7-4 at one stage, now lead 7-7 to 7-4. They've kicked the last 14 points of the match, and surely Brereton's going to put them another goal in front here. He's kicked 325 goals in his 148 games, just 20 metres out, and makes no mistake.
The bounce back in the centre, and the big difference has been Lawrence, surely. It took the Hawks a long time to get him onto the ground, but he's been tremendous at those centre bounces. Whitman over the top, Jenke at the back, Gurry fumbles. Deere's putting him under good pressure in the forward line. Terrific stuff by Paul Deere, and he keeps it in within goal scoring distance for Hawthorn in the left forward pocket, around about 25 metres around from the Hawthorn goal. There's 8.5 minutes left in the second term, and it's been a great game of football so far. Schultz in front, Morrissey. Morris, left foot kick to the front of the goal square. Dunstall fumbles ever so slightly. Now he takes it over, and it's out of bounds You could see him tiptoeing there, attempting to keep the ball in the field of play, sensing great opportunity to score a goal there for Hawthorn. Schultz, number 23 for Geelong. Deer over the top, Morrissey. Brereton out to Condon. Condon's kick across his body. Pretty close, just misses to the right. Through for a behind to the hooks. 8-8 plays 7-4. Hawthorn by 10 points. And we've got just under 8 minutes left in the second term.
Darcy short to Yates. Yates' kick smothered by Whitman. Couch and Tuck. Tuck wearing Couch today. Off the ground to Anderson. So things are really running for the Hawks. And the skipper's leading by example, Michael Tuck. Anderson, who had a great grand final, low drop punt. And not a good kick. 8-9 to 7-4. Interesting, Bernie, that Lawrence is on, yet Alan Jeans has kept Paul Deer on the ground.
Yes, well, Paul Deer, as I said, Bruce was doing fairly well around the ground. He's still a good marking player, and he does work very hard as well, so it's probably a good move to leave him out there.
Well, Geelong haven't had it in attack, I reckon, for about 8 or 9 minutes. Tuck almost. Couch. Free kick will go back to Flanagan. So perhaps they can mount something from this, Ian.
Well, I think they'd be a little concerned, the Cats, approaching half-time. The Hawks have had a lot of the play. Kick out wide to Schultz. Hamilton's a chance. Good gather. Gets the hand pass away. Schultz is not there. John Kennedy is. And he bundles the ball over the boundary line. Good, courageous play by the Hawthorn veteran. 8-9 plays 7-4. Lawrence again in front. This time Flanagan gets it down to Couch. Couch looking for some space. Just gets his left foot to the ball. That could have been a Geelong mark. It's been paid, Ablett. Well, I thought he had a good grip on it, Bernie.
Yes, I think initially he had the grab and it was knocked out of his hands just a split second after, so I think that's a good decision by the umpire.
But Gary Ablett, he's kicked 2 goals. Fairly impressive statistics. Again, I would consider distance not a problem. Beautiful looking drop punt kick. Gary Ablett's not too happy, neither is the goal umpire. And it just misses, much to the delight of the Hawthorn fans. 7-5. Geelong, 8-9 the Hawks.
Well, Ablett, you'd back him 95 out of 100 from there. Ayres' kick was a good one. Kennedy has had 2 kicks and 8 handballs today. Condon short. Pritchard. And there are Hawks everywhere. He's got Jenke short if he wants him. Goes long. Brereton. Yates in his back. Come back to Brereton. He's had 4 kicks, Brereton. Kicked the last goal for Hawthorn from a free kick. Goes to Morrissey, but too far, and Christensen takes the mark. On the 50-metre line, Hawthorn in attack. Stoneham gives him a lead. But it's not going to give him a chance, and straight to Collins. So Geelong not doing all that well at the moment. Collins, Gurry underneath it, and takes a safe mark at half-back. He's got Hocking short, and also Cameron, but again Collins chips in. Gee, he must think it's his birthday. Christensen, Hocking, they get him. But Hocking's handball was good to Christensen. Left foot, Stoneham takes the mark wide on the wing. Now he's got a short one here if he wants it. Decides not to go there. Goes across instead to Baldwin, Ablett and Langford. Ablett just gave Langford a little shove. Lawrence, Flanagan. Lawrence did very well to Jenke. Jenke to Tuck. The skipper misses it. Baldwin. Yates, quick kick. Hamilton, who's got some space, can really run. Exel. Free kick down the ground. And Exel will take it. So free kick against Hawthorn for interfering with Hamilton. And gee, Geelong had some options there, and they were a bit slow. And Exel's going to have to kick a goal. They need it. He's 35 metres out. Hasn't scored. Drop punt. Missed it. 7-6 to 8-9. So both Exel and Ablett missing from within range in the last couple of minutes.
Greg Madigan doing the kicking in duties, straight up the centre. No mark taken. Flanagan at the back, hand pass, wild one. Gary Cameron attempts to tap it on. Couch is well tackled. Anderson well tackled. Cameron, maybe that was a little high. No, this is umpire Sheehan, who is very much Johnny on the spot there, right on the 50-metre line. We'll have a bounce. Ruck contest. Ball comes out to Tuck. Just able to get his left foot to the ball, Michael Tuck. Now the race is on. Good gather by Hamilton. The hand pass is a little too fierce. Morrissey tackled by Christensen. Slipping over was Jenke. Christensen after it again. Condon first back. Left foot kick by Condon towards half forward. Now the Geelong defence under pressure. Gurry does well to flip it over to the left. Deer out wide. Morris's left foot kick towards full forward. Dunstall can't mark. Stephen Hocking at the back is there to tidy up. Rebound football for the Cats on the outer wing because Gary Cameron is a mile in front of him. One bounce. Oh, good tackle there by Collins was fair. Up towards half forward. Langford. Madigan under pressure. It was Whitman the player earlier. Now Collins is in the play and Collins will go back for Hawthorn. Two bounces by Collins. A little chip kick in towards the centre and the mark is taken by Anderson. Off it goes to Madigan. Madigan's kick in towards full forward. No mark taken. Morrissey being held by Christensen and the umpire sees it that way. Bad luck there for Christensen because Morrissey has a real chance to kick a goal. He's about 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
He positioned himself very well there, Jamie Morrissey. And Marty Christensen just holding on and giving the free kick away.
Morrissey, nicknamed the Freak. The kick is freakish.
The Hawks 9-9, the Cats 7-6. Hawthorn kicking the last 4 goals of the game. Denham through the centre with one bounce. Then drop punt to the goal square. And will it be a free kick against Hamilton? It will. In fact, he's going to have his number taken, I think. John Kennedy not happy.
Well, Bruce, the Hawthorn player did jump up very quickly there. And I don't know whether it's a matter of conning the umpire on that occasion because he threw himself to the ground and sometimes it does work.
Well, he's got the kick. Dean Anderson after Geelong were deep in attack. Anderson wide. Madigan the front spot. Kennedy. Hamilton. Free kick to the Hawk. John Kennedy, who's had a great match, to Tuck. There's some experience there between those two. No free kick down the ground. To half forward. Baldwin. Brereton with strength. And then short. And Morris surely will go. He misses. Gee, Dermott deserved better. He just brushed them aside. Chipped it to Morris. He really could have run in a bit further and made a certainty of that, Bernie.
Yes, maybe the year out of football, just getting back and finding his feet again, Bruce. Takes a little bit of time.
Tim Darcy now to kick the ball back into play for Geelong. They're under a little bit of pressure if they can hold on until half-time. There's only 3/4 of a minute left. Darcy's kicking towards half-back. Hawks would be a chance if they can get a possession here. They do through Tuck. Left foot kick by Tuck. Pritchard racing onto it. The kick by Pritchard misses. Through for another behind to Hawthorn. So they're peppering away, the Hawks. 9-11 plays 7-6. And some anxious people in the coach's box. Des Maher and Alan Jeans, of course. And there's the Geelong coaching staff. Dennis Davey assisting Malcolm Blight.
Straight down the centre, Darcy. Hawthorn have had 10 of the last 12 shots for goal. They've kicked 4-6 to 2 points from halfway through the quarter. Could the Cats get one before half-time? Ablett. Time's running out in the last 15 seconds. He's going to have to move it. Hocking. There's not going to be time. Ablett. We're in the last 5 seconds. And the Hawks come away. Kennedy, what a game he's played. Pritchard to Condon as the siren sounds at half-time. And Hawthorn take the points in the first half. This replay of the grand final. The Hawks 9-11-65. Lead the Cats 7-6-48. So a great second half of that second term by Hawthorn when they came back after Geelong led 7-4 to 5-5. Be on top of Hawthorn, they had lots of options up forward. And then all of a sudden Dunstall came into the game. Pritchard gave him a couple. Dunstan exploded. And Hawthorn were going great guns. It's 9-11 to 7-6 at half-time. Hawthorn at half-time lead 9-11 to 7-6 after trailing the quarter time by 3-4 to 5-3. So the Hawks kicked 6-7 in that term to 2-3 from the Cats, and they go in at half-time with a 17-point lead. Ian Robertson and Bernie Quinlan, great fight back there by Hawthorn. They look to be in some trouble, Robbo, about halfway through that second term.
Yes, I think you mentioned, Bruce, about experience and the professionalism of the Hawthorn side. They're a very disciplined unit too, Bernie, aren't they? When a team is down, you really see that when they come to the fore, they work hard at all facets of the game.
Well, that's right. They've had the experience of being in the final so many times, and they've got tremendous experience in Michael Tuck. They were lacking a little bit in the ruck, but they were able to cover that when Lawrence came on the ground. They've got good forwards, and of course their defence with Langford now playing on Ablett is doing very well, and they started winning the ball out of the middle.
That Pritchard's a great player, isn't he? Like when Dunstall moves the ball, or when Dunstall goes for the ball, he sees Darren Pritchard with it. You made a comment in the second term, I think, that he seems to have some sort of vision, doesn't he? That Pritchard's got it. Let's lead. I'm on the end of it, and away it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
The statistics showing there that Hawthorn certainly took control in the second term with 16 more kicks at half-time than Geelong. I think Geelong have got a few problems, actually. The ominous signs were there in the 10 minutes just before half-time.
So that's the situation with Hawthorn leading by 17 points. What's coming up on 7 Sport? Well, we've got a lot to look forward to. Sports World tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 8:30 Adelaide time. Great program tomorrow. John Alexander and Dixie Marshall joining me, and we'll be talking to Ted Whitten and Graham Corns about the snubbing of South Australia by the AFL during the week. Pat Cash is talking to us. Feature stories on Wayne Harris, Karen Van Werdum and Tony DeRigo, the Australian who scored for Chelsea in the Cup last week. And then tomorrow some network stations see all the excitement of Australia's boom sport with the start of the 1990 NBL basketball season. Check your local guides for coverage details. So the situation at half-time, Hawthorn 17 points in front. The football theme song for 1990 is a beauty. It's Australia's favourite sons.
He's every inch a hero, the kind to get things done. But underneath that grip of steel, there hides some mother's favorite son. All the world needs heroes, one for all and all for one. We stand with pride beside Australia's favorite sons. They got the spirit and passion. They got the spirit and the passion. And the best is yet to come. And the best is yet to come. They got the heart to do their part. They got the heart to do their part. Australia's favorite sons.
Welcome back to AFL Live. Great news from Milton for Australia today. Darren Cale and Mark Kratzman winning the doubles against Kelly Everton and David Lewis. 7-5, 6-3, 7-6. Australia leads by 2 rubbers to 1. And the 2 matches tomorrow can be seen on SBS. But Australia in very good shape there in Milton. Still staying in Queensland for footy fans on the Gold Coast and in Brisbane. Don't forget tonight's big match. It's the Brisbane Bears against Richmond at Carrara. Go along and support the Bears if you're up there in Queensland. And if you happen not to be in Queensland and want to watch the best football, then see it on 7 Sport tonight, 7:30, that live match, Brisbane against Richmond. Tomorrow, a couple of great matches in the AFL. It's the West Coast and Collingwood live from Subiaco. That's from 2 o'clock tomorrow Eastern Time. It's the Maggies up against the Eagles there. Big game, as I said. And then tomorrow afternoon, after that match, it's a replay on a lot of stations around the network. Footscray against St Kilda. And it's already a sellout there in the members area with the Bulldogs back home at the Western Oval against the Saints and Tony Lockett. So that's something to look forward to. Well, Carlton are playing Sydney today at Princes Park. It was build up as one of the big games of the round. Sydney's pre-season form was excellent. The Blues have been in pretty good form. Let's go to the first half highlights. Our commentators, Peter Landy and Dennis Cometti.
Mark missed by Tunbridge, should have taken it. Verbeek leaves it for Rhys Jones. Carlton on the burst. Kernahan from Gleeson, centering kick into the square. Where's Dorotic? It bounces through for a goal.
To Blackwell, to Rhys Jones. Crowd love that. Away he comes towards half forward. Mark is taken by Bradley, in trouble, but got the hand pass away. Rui's a good kick from 50 metres out. Oh, it's a beauty.
Williams tries to get around Blackwell, does so. Tui, haven't seen much of him. Back to Williams. Fell. Good lead, fine mark. And he's inside 50. He kicked one goal in the first quarter and looks to be a reasonable sort of a prospect at full forward. Shane Fell directly in front for Sydney's third goal, and they need them. And judging by the silence, it looks like a public library behind the goal. It's 4 points. Parsons up. Tried to find Healy, who's been well blanketed so far, and I think Alvin kicked that. His opponent down to Gleeson. Gleeson inside 50, straightens, and goals. Great play from the Blues. Gleeson's first. On that occasion, who was Kelly. Kernahan has it knocked away. Johnston, brilliant on the bottom of the pack. The hand pass intended for Gleeson. Some soccer work, and he's got it!
He's played a brilliant game. Long towards half forward. Down comes Healy. Couldn't hang on. Alvin breaks away. Plenty of runners again. Rhys Jones. Men outside him. He elects to go across to Hannah. Hannah swings it down towards left half forward. Unkind bounce for Dorotic, but he gets it back off Gleeson. And now Dorotic from 35 metres out gets the 10th goal for Carlton. Or is it the 11th?
Dorotic making it look easy there for the Blues. 10-9. Gee, they're in a bit of form at Princes Park. And Sydney 3-6, 69-24. As we check the other half-time scores, Melbourne maintaining their advantage over North Melbourne. An even second quarter, they lead 10-3 to 5-9. 13 shots to 14. And the Bombers against Fitzroy, it's a one-horse race there, one-way traffic, 13-10-88. Fitzroy 5-6-36, so 88-36. It's Essendon over Fitzroy. Well, this week in the AFL, the big topic of discussion has been the state of origin and the announcement that the Victorian team will play against New South Wales on May the 22nd. There'll be 3 state of origin games this year, against New South Wales, against Western Australia, against Tasmania. That means Victoria won't be playing against South Australia. Ian Robertson and Bernie Quinlan, it came as no surprise, but I guess it's still pretty disappointing, especially for those fans in South Australia.
Yeah, well, Bruce, there were 86,000 people watched that game last year, and it was a tremendous build-up on the MCG. I know the Victorians won the game pretty easily, but Bernie, I really think it's a bit of head in the sand attitude, don't you? That we would turn around and play a game against New South Wales?
Well, I can understand both sides, really, Ian. You look at the AFL's view, and they're playing a state of origin game against a state that is supporting the actual national football competition concept. And the South Australian Football League, I can understand them as well, because they don't want to get into the National League before all the problems are sorted out. But, well, the VFL, they don't, I suppose the player retention scheme in South Australia has got a lot to do with it, and they think the VFL, or the AFL now as it's called, if they get into that sort of scenario where they're playing a state of origin against the South Australia side, well, the coffers are, of course, swelled by that, the gate takers in that match, and so the AFL don't want to be a part of that.
Well, how many people do you think would go and watch a game, particularly played up on the border, between a side that, well, if they're all fired up, if they're fair dinkum, should beat that New South Wales side fairly comfortably, I would think.
Well, they'll probably throw a few Swifties and pull a few tricks in that match, and there'll be a lot of the Sydney Swans players playing in that match, but I don't think the crowd will be very big at all, because it probably will be fairly one-sided, and really they would have probably got 50 or 60,000 playing in South Australia.
So, South Australia not playing against Victoria this year. Ted Whitten and Graham Corns will be discussing that topic on Sports World tomorrow. Hope you're enjoying AFL Live. Back with the second half after the break. Hawthorn on the ground, leading 9-6, Geelong 7-6. Cats still to come back. Absolute perfect day in Melbourne, and a big crowd in attendance, and they've seen a fine first half of football. It's been a spectacular start to the AFL season, with the 2 top teams from last year giving 100%. Michael Roberts is on the boundary line. Michael's been trying to get into the rooms at half-time. If you had any luck, Michael?
Yes, I did, Bruce, and with the Geelong camp, they were locked up like the City Watch House after a pretty disappointing second half to that second quarter. But at the Hawthorn rooms, I walked up the race with Dermot Brereton, and he said he's got a long memory and he is gunning for Mark Yates at every opportunity. He did mention something about being tackled around the neck and wrenched his back, so he went into the doctor's surgery when he went into the Hawthorn rooms. As you can imagine, they were pretty tired. A lot of players resting, getting decent rubs for this second half. Alan Jeans walked around his players and he spent a lot of time with Michael Tuck, the captain, and he's done a tremendous job with Paul Couch blanking him in the centre. And he also out loud said that both teams were tackling fiercely and he didn't want Hawthorn to break it all.
Michael Roberts, as we look at Jason Dunstall, who had a big effect on that second quarter.
Yes, Dunstall, I think, is probably one of the keys to the game. If he can take a few more marks and kick accurately, he's about an 8 or 9 goal, potentially 8 or 9 goal full forward, and that certainly is a problem for the Cats.
Yes, Gary Ablett has continued his brilliant form from last season. Already 9 kicks, 2 handballs, 6 marks. He had McGuinness moved off him early and has now got Chris Langford minding him.
Dermot Brereton struggling a little bit, but certainly those handballs that he's given out, 2 of, quite a few tap-ons, a couple of tackles. I think the other side of his game, besides the kicks and handballs, has been creditable by Dermot Brereton.
Gary Hocking hasn't been outstanding in the first half. 6 kicks, 3 hand passes. Always a busy player, though, and the Hawthorn players certainly know he's out there.
James Morrissey, of course, kicked that magnificent goal in that second quarter for Hawthorn. His 6 kicks have all been fairly effective, and again, the hand passes effective as well.
Yes, Gary Cameron, 7 kicks and 5 handballs, has been busy on the Geelong forward line.
So some of the individual statistics, Anthony Condon's had 14 kicks and Peter Baldwin 10. Condon for Hawthorn number 3, Baldwin number 44 for the Cats, and Michael Tuck. There's Condon. He's had a very good first half with 14 kicks, and Michael Tuck, who's easily the oldest player out there on the ground, and in this competition with 10 kicks, had a marvellous first half. Has been playing on Paul Couch. Ian, I just get the feeling that Paul Couch isn't 100%. He's had 6 kicks and 3 handballs, but he doesn't seem completely free with that shoulder. In fact, he's putting the tracksuit top on now.
Yeah, that's interesting, Bruce. He is a tremendous kick gatherer, and I think I mentioned during the call in the first half that he was in trouble, missing the previous practice match, and he's coming off the ground to start the second half on the interchange bench. But I still think he'd be a sad loss, because potentially he certainly gives them some drive, but I guess if there's something wrong with him, well, he might as well be on the interchange bench.
Well, Lawrence and Dixon are coming off for Hawthorn. Lawrence had quite an influence on that second term when he came on the ground against a tired Flanagan. He took charge in the centre, and Hawthorn got momentum from that. Dixon hasn't had a run, and Couch is off for Geelong, so he's not 100%, that's for sure. And the first 5 minutes here are important, Burnley, because Geelong have got a hold here. They can't allow Hawthorn to get a couple more goals in front.
Yes, well, Hawthorn, of course, had a run on in that second part of the second quarter, and Geelong certainly were wilting with Couch off the ground. There's Bruce Lindner also off the ground.
Start of the second half. It's 9-11 to 7-6. The champions of 88 and 89 are leading. Flanagan with a tap. A quick handball forward to Malakalis. To full forward, Ablett, punched away by Langford. And that duel could decide the outcome of the game. Kennedy, Ablett with him. Kennedy tunneled it through his body. Malakalis, short. Denham breaks the tackle. Handball by Hamilton, misses the body. Bailey's on the ground. Geelong work it forward. Langford off the ground. And it will be a throw-in. So the Hawthorn defence stand firm in the first minute.
Really wonder why, Bruce, that Lawrence would be off the ground after doing such a good job in the ruck in that second quarter.
Well, Deere and Flanagan are at it. Flanagan with a tap. Brownless, and again a throw in. Well, Alan Jeans has got the option now, hasn't he? Because he can tie Flanagan with Deere and then throw Lawrence up against him in the second half.
And McGuinness and Brownless having a bit of a how do you do behind play there as the ruckmen get ready to contest the throw-in. Opportunity now for Denham. Deep in that forward pocket. He spotted someone. The pass is good. Hamilton takes the mark. And good perception by Denham as he gets a tap on the head from Flanagan behind play. The opportunity now with Hamilton to kick the first goal of the third quarter. Cats trail by 17 points. Cats trail by 11 points. Hamilton kicks his first goal, and Geelong kick their eighth. The Cats are 8-6, 54. Hawthorn 9-11, 65.
Well, most of the scoring has been done down to the main scoreboard end, and good play there by Denham. He only played 6 games last season, controlled the ball well, and then spun on his right foot, not his natural kicking foot, to find Hamilton. And Hamilton from only about 25-30 metres out, kicking truly.
So great to see Hamilton back into that forward line. Oh, what a tap out by Flanagan. Malakalis takes the ball away and kicks it fairly direct towards full forward. Ablett jumps early, hovers in the air, and takes the mark in front of Langford. And Langford's been reported. I don't believe it.
Well,
neither can Chris Langford. Look at him standing there.
I thought it was only a bit of pressure being applied there by Langford. He got there a little bit late. Ablett was hovering in the air, jumped early.
Well, this makes an absolute certainty of the goal. Ablett now kicking from right on the line, directly in front. And surely he will kick his third goal. He does so.
Well, an interesting statistic here is that 13 of the 18 goals have been scored at the scoreboard end. So 13 of the 18 goals have been scored down at the scoreboard end. And Geelong are kicking there in this term. So maybe there is a little bit out there, as Michael Roberts told us, with the breeze. But the Cats have started just as Malcolm Blight would have wanted them to. Baldwin with a high one. Collins in the front spot. Denham, busy little player. Stoneham. And a throw in. So, Bernie, I just wonder, with just 5 goals scored down at the other end from the scoreboard, away from the main scoreboard end, whether or not Geelong has this breeze advantage. You can see the flags are blowing in their favour.
Yes, it appears that way, Bruce. And Geelong, of course, getting the ball out of the middle with Flanagan again starting to dominate.
And he gets a kick away. Langford, bad bounce. Ablett should go. One bounce. Drop punt. It's 10-6 the Cats to 9-11 Hawthorn.
And poor Chris Langford there, no luck. Out in front doing the right thing. Playing Gary Ablett from the front, and the fickle bounce there. There's a kick from Flanagan long into the forward line. And Langford out in front, just not favoured by the bounce. Gary Ablett couldn't believe his luck. A couple of bounces, one bounce, and runs into the open goal.
Well, the Cats are on fire here. Ablett's kicked 4. 2 of them in this term. And Geelong have come out and kicked 3 goals and put themselves in front. So Hawthorn have got to start all over again. What a great game it is. Last year they turned on 2 beauties, and this one is building just as well. Malakalis. And perhaps we're seeing, Ian Robertson, the start of great rivalry between these 2 clubs that might go well into the 90s.
Certainly terrific competition, Bruce, as Gary Cameron can't break away from the Hawthorn tackle. The tackle of both sides has been fierce right from the start. Anderson's kick towards centre-half forward. It comes out the back. A little misunderstanding between 2 inexperienced players, Gurry and Schultz. Allows Hawthorn in with a chance. Jenke is held. And the umpire, again, I must give credit to umpire Carey there, because he was in a perfect posse to make that decision. Only 6 metres away and front on. Perhaps Gurry a little bit stiff. He was falling as he made the tackle, and his arms fell down around Ray Jenke's legs. But still, the free kick is there. So Jenke will shoot for goal from about 35 metres out, directly in front. Opportunity to put the Hawks back into the lead. Jenke's kick looks pretty good.
Hawks by 5 points. Jenke has 2 goals. Dunstall's got 3 for Hawthorn. Ablett 4 for Geelong, and Brownless 3. Well, the match has been played at a cracking pace before a very large crowd, over 50,000. And both umpires, Sheehan and Carey, are doing a great job. Deer, Pritchard. Check side kick to get some ground. Jenke. Morris ducks his head. Morrissey just kicks it off the ground a couple of metres. Trying to barge it out, Hamilton. Umpires letting it go. Baldwin. Whitman. Still no one can get rid of it. Morrissey. Gurry. Anderson's tackle was good. Bailey, who came from the internal draft, off the ground. Lawrence is back on the field and barges his way through to Anderson. Anderson off one leg to Morris. Now Morris can move it to Morrissey in the pocket. Decides to go to Dunstall, one out. And chipping in Deer, and he'll kick a goal. So Hawthorn reply 11-11 to 10-6.
It's great play there by Paul Deer. He's hasn't been doing well in the centre square bounces, but around the ground he's marking, his endeavour. The kick again from Russell Morris into that forward line. And the two players, the fullback and the full forward, Darcy and Dunstall, jockeying for position, and it made it easy for Deer to just spring across there, take the mark, play on and kick the goal.
One gets the impression that he's being rewarded just by his loyalty, or from his loyalty, Paul Deer, and he certainly grasps every opportunity and gives everything when he pulls on that brown and gold. So the Hawks have fought back. They now lead again, 11 points. Whitman crashes into Baldwin. Chance there for Jenke, just gets his foot to the ball. Pritchard covered the required distance. Pritchard's hand pass to Ayres with a little bit of time to kick it coolly into the full forward area. Just not quite far enough for Dunstall, but Darcy was there with him, and it's knocked over the boundary line for throwing.
Interesting, once Lawrence is back in the ruck, Hawthorn have won the ball out of the centre bounce again.
Just outside 50 metres, the boundary throw in. Schultz, the ball comes to Condon, off to Pritchard. Look at the pace, scintillating stuff by Pritchard, but he misses to the right. Golly, he's quick, burning over the first 10 or 12, isn't he?
Very quick, and those two players combining very well.
Hawk fans have had some anxious moments so far in this match, but at this stage their side has a 12-point advantage. The kick in by Darcy is marked by Gary Hocking. He decides to play on, forced to kick with the left foot wide towards the wing. Bailey, one out. The kick now up towards half forward for Hawthorn. Punch away, finishes with Anderson. He's well tackled from behind by Schultz. The ball forced over the boundary line. And some pretty good defensive work there by both sides. Firstly, on the half forward area by Hawthorn, then in the back line, full back line by Schultz. Another boundary throw in. Deer, ball at the back, Brereton. Left foot snap by Brereton. It looks okay. It's a goal.
Well, there have been 6 goals in a hurry in this second half. 3 by Geelong and then 3 by Hawthorn. And it's no coincidence, and Stephen Lawrence has been on the ground while the Hawks have been on top in that second and third terms. And that was fantastic footy by the young man. Morrissey taps it on to Deer. Will he kick another one? Left foot. Behind. Or did Dunstall take it? No, it's a point. A good attempt. Well, Bernie Lawrence is really inspiring in the centre square.
She's certainly lifted him, hasn't he, since when he came on in that second quarter, and again now at the start of this third quarter. And Geelong just seemed to have a run on when Paul Deer was taking the ruck.
Peter Baldwin, after a short one from Darcy. This is his 12th kick. Straight down the centre. Stoneham at the back. But in front it's Lawrence again. Handball to tuck. Left foot. Anderson. Comfortably. Has Morris in the pocket. Has Jenke short. Brereton on a lead. Goes towards Dunstall. It won't get that far. Morris almost. Handball out. Whitman tucked away in the pocket. Left foot. Oh, Brereton almost a beauty. Cameron. Flanagan. Free kick against Brereton, and it's up the ground to Flanagan. It's tight in the trenches, and Flanagan goes to Stoneham, and Barry makes it. So the Cats start to mount something.
Stoneham's on centre wing, right on the AFL logo and kicks it towards centre-half forward. There's no one home for Geelong. The bounce is ordinary for Morrissey, but great play by Kennedy to get it forward back to James Morrissey. The kick in towards the centre-half forward position. Whitman dives on it. He can't break clear. Bailey there for Geelong. Now the ball comes out the back, tunnel ball style. Tapped to his own advantage by Jenke. Goes on with it, kicks it into the pocket. Nearly the mark to Deer. He does pretty well. He'll get the hand pass to Dunstall. The bounce favours that player, and he kicks an easy goal for Hawthorn.
Hawthorn have replied in magnificent fashion with 4 goals too, after Geelong kicked 3 goals in a hurry in this second half. And this man, Stephen Lawrence, has really given the Hawks something in this third quarter as he did in the second. Dermot Brereton was spoken to by the umpire after that goal by Jason Dunstall. There wasn't a report, just a little chat. Cameron, it didn't go very far. Jenke, who's been busy in this second half. Bailey. Collins, free kick to Denham. Geelong have got to move it. Now, Hamilton's there. Collins has held it up. They had a couple of loose players. Ablett at centre-half forward. And that's where Denham's going to go. Well, they look for him all the time. And Ablett's going to have a shot for goal. Not going to muck around. Drop punt. Rushed it a bit. Saw an open goal square. And missed it. So it's 13-13 to 10-7. But every time they go forward, they look for Gary Ablett. And he rarely lets them down.
Kick in by Kennedy. Morrissey's on his own. And Morrissey takes the mark at half-back. Again, a little chip pass. And it's effective because Ayres is on the end of it. He's still at half-back. Again, a short pass. Jenke. Oh, the hand pass has been intercepted by Flanagan. Jenke gets back in a hurry. Ayres, a little pass wide, and Condon takes the mark on centre wing. Morrissey calling for the hand pass, but Condon goes long towards centre-half forward. Geelong should have taken the mark through Schultz. He wasn't aware that he was on his own. He just punches it in front of himself straight over the boundary line. No talking there, Geelong. Perhaps a little rattled because the Hawks have been relentless. Bruce has already mentioned that the Cats kicked the first 3 goals in the third quarter, but Hawthorn have come back. Oh, this time it's a terrific mark taken by Schultz, and he really backed himself in front of the pack, taking it in front of Morris. He plays on quickly, kicks it high, back towards centre-half forward. Big punch by the Hawthorn defence. Condon has held it, he didn't have it. Made it look even more obvious than it was, and Condon takes the free kick. The short pass is on. It goes wide, and Lawrence has taken the mark. Jenke's making position. Lawrence elects to go over that player's head and kick it to the regular centre-half forward position. Punch away by Pritchard. Gary Cameron's on the end of it. Clever little kick off the ground by Pritchard to Morris. Morris's clever little kick is equally as effective, and the mark is taken by Brereton 40 metres from goal. There's no one home, and maybe this is the difference. Brereton steadying down, and we'll have a definite shot for goal up the other end just a few moments ago. Gary Ablett hurrying, missed to the left. Dermot Brereton. He's kicked 2, he's kicked 3.
Well, suddenly the margin's 5 goals. And the Hawks are charging away. Condon. 17 kicks he's had. Handball by Whitman. Anderson. Malakalis. Just a high one. And Hawthorn again. Morrissey. Condon to centre-half forward. Deer on a long lead. Gets rid of Bailey. Cameron. Now he should go short to Flanagan. But not a good kick. Just a high one. But Stoneham's there. Makes it. Flanagan. Left foot. Ablett. Oh, what a player. Langford's got to be the toughest man in the league to beat like that. And Ablett stood his ground, as only he can.
I think Langford's mesmerised by that report earlier. Bruce himself, he's done a couple of things that was very uncharacteristic of Chris Langford, and I'm sure that he's just nonplussed about the report earlier in this quarter.
The kick 4, will it be 5? Yes. 5 goals to the Magician, and the Cats are back within 4. 11-7 to 14-13.
Well, he never ceases to amaze me, Gary Ablett. That was a class mark against a tough opponent. An opponent who is much taller than himself. And a beautiful kick from about 45 metres out. But Gary Ablett with 5 goals, 3 in this quarter, 2 in the first quarter. He's a tremendous player. And I think Chris Langford would be wondering what to do next.
So the ruck contest. Stoneham's in there against Lawrence. And the free kick is given to Lawrence. He gets the hand pass away, not messing around, off to John Kennedy. Pass, effective. Pritchard looking to play on. Not given that opportunity by Gary Cameron. Now is forced to kick it high into the forward line. Dunstall. Strength, agility. What do you call it, Bernie? Just complete full forward.
Class, I think, isn't
Magnificent.
it, Bravo? Yeah, class. He just held Tim Darcy off again and just lunged at the right moment again. There he is holding him off. 2 players fighting together, and just his upper body strength's amazing.
Jason Dunstall has kicked 4 goals. Drop punt kick, just floating away to the right. So that brings his tally to 4 goals, 2. And I think there's some interesting statistics on the scoreboard at the moment, that Hawthorn have had 28 scoring shots to 18. They lead by 3 goals, 7.
Lindner back on for the Cats as Yates goes to centre half back. Stoneham. Quick kick away by Denon to the open spaces. Collins leads Hocking. Hocking and Collins. And it's going to be a ball up.
You'd love to be in there close with a video camera, wouldn't you? Or what do they call it, an in-house camera or whatever?
Well, we've got race cam and
player cam, Bruce.
player cam. Gary Hocking, and
it'd be interesting, I would think.
At all times. Certainly the Hawthorn supporters let him know thereabout. Quick kick by Condon. He's had more kicks than anybody else on the park today. 3 Cats over the top of it. Yates. Morris. Anderson will miss Jenky's body. Still Anderson looks for a free kick. Off the ground. Bailey and Tuck. Still Bailey and Tuck. Good decision by the umpire. Whitman with a high ball. It's Dunstall getting underneath it. Oh, great mark, Darcy. It was a floater. It was always going to be tough.
Tremendous judgment there by Tim Darcy.
Well, what a game it's been. I know Hawthorn have got the break, but it's been footy at its best. 14-14 to 11-7. Ayres. Schultz misread it. Kennedy, who's been very good. That's not so good. Brereton in the front spot. Morrissey. Anderson. Left foot. Misses. 14-15 to 11-7. And Hawthorn really could have wrapped this up in the last couple of minutes. They could have been 6 or 7 in front.
Yes, they've been peppering away, and I think that was an example there. Dean Anderson perhaps looking a little excited as he got in the clear a little too easily. Darcy's kick straight up the ground, but Ayres nudges his opponent Exel out pretty easily. Ayres goes on with it now, backing himself onto the left foot, kicks it towards full forward. Look at Dunstall fly. Morrissey collects the crumbs. Snapshot, he lights it. Does the goal on play? Yes, he does.
30 shots to 18. And Hawthorn 15-15 to 11-7. The biggest margin of the game. Stephen Hocking's been quiet. Lindner, Ayres, outnumbered with McGuinness. And Gary Ayres, who's played a typical game with 7 kicks and 5 handballs, to Anderson, who's growing in confidence as the game goes on. Hawks running everywhere here. Brereton. Free kick. And don't the Hawthorn fans love it?
The class on the Hawthorn forward line really showing out now, Bruce.
Yes, Brereton and Dunstall have been excellent in the second and third quarters. Morris on the lead. Takes off early. Schultz against him. Deer. Condon. Quick hands. Morris. Morrissey. Can he do it again? No. Not a bad attempt. So James Morrissey with 2-1 as Hawthorn go marching on 15-16 to 11-7.
Haven't they got some class on-ball players, though, Geelong? Morrissey, Condon, Anderson, Pritchard. They feed the forwards all day long, and they're fantastic players, great deliverers of the ball.
Darcy to centre half back. Stoneham, Hamilton. Brereton with Stoneham. Hocking. Advantage play, but it goes against Geelong. Brereton and Stoneham behind player into it. Quick kick by Yates. Wide. I think it's all okay between Dermott and Stoneham. Lindner, free kick to Hawthorn. So it's all happening here, and it's going Hawthorn's way to Madigan.
Interesting to see George Stone jump in between George Stone as the Hawthorn runner, jump in between Stoneham and Brereton just to keep the head a little cool. McGuinness goes on with play, shrugged the tackle from Brownless, kicks the ball towards centre half forward. This could be some rebound stuff for Geelong. Bailey has the ball, coming up towards the centre, hand pass over the top. Back goes Hamilton onto the right foot, kicks it to within 50 metres, no mark taken. Ball comes over the back, doesn't sit for Exel. Ayres is backed up brilliantly by Collins, and that little desperado gets the Hawks out of trouble. He kicks it wide towards half-back, and experienced by John Kennedy. He was never, ever going to take possession of that ball, just tapping it to his own advantage, and unfortunately, Malacallis did the tackle. Kennedy has the free kick.
Yeah, it's good play by Kennedy, the experience showing through there. Malacallis was committed to tackle.
Kennedy's kick towards half forward. There's a one-hander. Morris. Great to see him coming into his own. A long time out of the game. The kick to Jenke. On to McGuinness. The Hawks are running from everywhere. And the mark. Acrobatic stuff by Dunstall. The applause for the diving mark just inside 50 metres.
There's perfect play. Again, a beautiful lead up by Hawthorn.
Dunstall. 4 goals, 2. This is close. 5 goals, 2 to Jason Dunstall.
Hawthorn has kicked 7-5 to 1-1 after Geelong kicked 3 goals at the start of the term. Lawrence. And things are happening because that was a left footer that wasn't really meant for Morris, but it found him. Leads everywhere. Short and wide to Condon. Not a lot of advantage there. But they've got a big break. Brereton. And it's also easy. Anderson. And Hawthorn are playing with Geelong. They've really torn the Cats apart and might have broken their spirit in this third term. Drop punt from Anderson. And it just rolls over from behind. So 16-17, 33 shots to 18. And the margin 5-10. Malcolm Blight. What can he do from here, Bernie Quinlan, to try and give Geelong something for this final term?
Well, it's very difficult. I think Hawthorn are giving Geelong a football lesson at the moment. I don't think there's anything they can do because Hawthorn are a class combination.
Well, Deere takes it after a bad kick from Darcy. Again, Condon wide. And short. And Dunstall half volleyed it. 3 Geelong players against him. Darcy finds some space by running backwards. And then kicks to space, and he'll hope it'll run out of bounds. Because if it doesn't, Lawrence will get it. And it will be a throw-in.
Bruce, when the team trails like this, really the emphasis is on discipline. They really have to remember all of the things that the coach has been telling them what to do when they're under enormous pressure. That's where the Cats are at the moment.
Anderson tries to get it up to Kennedy. Good tackle by Malacallis. Kennedy has been a star. Tuck, left foot. Will Dunstall take it? Almost off ground. Goal. No, hit the post. Thought it had snuck through, and so did Dunstall. Gee, strong.
So did the crowd.
Absolutely. Oh, he's an exciting player, Bernie.
Oh, yes, he's amazing. Definitely the class full forward along with Tony Lockett in the competition, but he's so strong in the upper body that he can hold the fullback out. Nearly took that one-hander and then recovered well to nearly kick an amazing goal.
Well, they've got some players all over the field, and with Russell Morris back playing well, Gee, the Hawks are looking very, very dangerous. The kick in by Darcy, marked by Lawrence. He plays on quickly, gives it to Whitman. Whitman goes straight towards goal. Dunstall can't mark. Another goal to Morrissey. Just dribbled it through, but that's all that was needed. Running onto it with momentum. James Morrissey kicks his third goal. Hawthorn 17-18. The Cats 11-7. And in this quarter, after Geelong had kicked the first 3 goals, they've added one more. Hawthorn have kicked 8 goals, 7, and they lead by 47 points. The bounce, it favours Lawrence. He gets the tap out. Tuck. Just a little tap to Anderson. Centre half forward, Brereton over the top. Jenke comes in. Can he kick his third? The drop punt kick by Ray Jenke is home. Magnificent football there by Hawthorn. And really, Geelong, I don't think they touched the ball from when the umpire bounced it.
A couple of experienced players there. Wasn't that great? That tap on from Michael Tuck and then another tap on from Dermot Brereton. Have a look at this. Tremendous play, and Ray Jenke, not a Geelong player anywhere near him, just bounces it through past the 50-metre line and kicks a very easy goal. No pressure at all, but gee, Hawthorn are playing fantastic football when a lot of people expected them to go down this season.
Well, another thing too, he's a state footballer, Ray Jenke, and he's been lamenting in the seconds.
Well, it's been 5 long years since Geelong has beaten Hawthorn, and they're not going to do it today at the park. Bailey with a high one. Tapped on by Malakalis. Kennedy. Lawrence, what a game he's played. Has Hawthorn found another star? I think they might have. Whitman. Left foot. Morris. And the Cats are finding it hard to get anything to happen. Stoneham. And Brereton just pushes him out of bounds. And then goes short to Jenke.
Surely that was in the back, Bruce.
Look
Dermot Brereton.
Jenke, Tuck. And the 36-year-old takes the mark. Well, they're just playing with Geelong. Brereton again. So Tuck to Brereton. And Dermot's having a birthday in this third quarter. Michael Roberts mentioned that he went into the medical rooms at half-time, said that he hadn't forgotten about Mark Yates, but surely this is the best way to show somebody. It's by taking charge, and that's what Brereton has done in this third term. He's really been the pivotal point. Tucked away in the pocket. Drop punt. And in an anti-climax, he kicks it out of bounds on the fall. What a quarter by the Hawks. 18-18 to 11-7. Well, you wouldn't believe that Geelong led at one stage in that third quarter, because Hawthorn 18-18, 126. Lead Geelong 11-7, 73.
Today's match is part of the CUB AFL 1990 Premiership season.
Alan Jeans talking to the Hawks, who must be absolutely thrilled with their third quarter performance. And on Sunday, April the 8th, it's the Shell Ultra Australian Touring Car Championship continuing live from Winton, the 4th round of the series. Dick Johnson currently leading. It's great viewing as the best and the bravest take their lives into their own hands, only on 7 Sport. So that's coming up from Winton. Well, what a magnificent third quarter, Bernie Quinlan, as Malcolm Blight revs up the Cats for this final term. But that was Hawthorn at its very best.
Yes, it was, Bruce, and they've continued on their good form from, well, they were the class side in the 70s and the 80s, and they don't seem to have lost much at the start of this 1990 season. Their forward line's working perfectly, and it's being fed by some fantastic on-ball players. Having a look at the match stats, look at the domination of Hawthorn in the kicks department, 169 to 115. Handballs again. Marks in favour of Hawthorn, well in favour of Hawthorn, almost double. Free kicks, double there in Hawthorn's favour. Tackles again in Hawthorn's favour. The only area where they have won is the hit-outs, and that's when Flanagan was taking over from Deere in mainly the first half of the match.
Other matches North Melbourne 9-13, Melbourne 17-7, so Melbourne with a big lead there, and they should hang on. They're 7 goals in front. Essendon against Fitzroy at Windy Hill, the Bombers by plenty, 17-15 to 6-8. They've charged further in front there, and Carlton and Sydney coming back a bit. They kicked 6-3 in the third quarter to 2 goals, 6 with 12-15 to 9-9. Michael Roberts on the boundary line. Malcolm Blight didn't look happy at three-quarter time.
He didn't, but Alan Jeans did, and he's very confident they'll kick on and go on in this last term. He said, keep feeding it out and don't relax, and he really praised the inexperienced players, the young kids, to lift in that third quarter. Malcolm Blight not so confident as you saw. Too many Hawthorn players were running loose. He said they need one man and one man only, and a couple of changes. Gary Cameron on, and Paul Couch will play on Ray Jenke.
A bad sign towards the end of the third quarter, Bruce. There's still a quarter and perhaps 5 minutes of that third term to go. And what Michael said about loose players is really bad news. I think that's the thing that Malcolm would have been disappointed with. They were very, very loose.
Well, you mentioned that the discipline was important when you were getting beaten, and there were loose men left, right and centre for Hawthorn. And the Cats had their head down at three-quarter time, and it was a sorry sight. Darren Flanagan, as we're about to start the final term. So the start of the last quarter, and can Geelong mount a challenge? They trail by 7 goals, 11. 11-7 to 18-18. Flanagan and Lawrence. Flanagan wins it, but a quick kick by Condon. That's his 22nd kick today. Stoneham taps it down cleverly to Hamilton, who's not really had any effect on the game after coming on. Lawrence, Stoneham, quick kick, and a free kick to Geelong. So the Cats will go into attack in that third quarter. They kicked 3 goals in a hurry.
Bruce, in that little passage of play, there was a terrific tackle by Greg Madigan, one of their younger players. I think that's what Alan Jeans is getting at. Those younger blokes have been fantastic.
Bailey towards full forward. Ablett. Langford timed it perfectly. Couch, great tackle by Jenke. Cameron, drop punt, and he's missed wide. It's a behind. So Geelong 11-8 to 18-18.
Chris Langford, who's had the unenviable task of minding Gary Ablett. Gary Ablett has kicked 5 out of Geelong's 11 goals. Langford kicks into the members' side. It goes through Lawrence. Couch is able to pick it up and kick the ball away towards centre half forward. Big punch by Tuck. Overrun there by Lindner. The kick goes wide, close to the line, and it's over for a boundary throw-in.
Michael Roberts has relayed some news that Chris Langford, we believe, was reported also in the first quarter today. So when you mentioned that he didn't have the mind on the job in when Ablett took charge for a little while in that third quarter.
Bailey paddles the ball on in front of himself. He's well met by Kennedy. Pretty tough boy, Brett Bailey. He picks himself up, but I'm sure he'd be feeling that. John Kennedy doesn't mess around.
It's a beautiful hip and shoulder, wasn't it, from John Kennedy?
6'2" and about 13.5 stone. I think Brett Bailey will be feeling it. Condon, again, gets his left foot to the ball. A prolific kick gatherer. Pritchard, smothered by 2 Geelong players. And the ball is taken over the boundary line for another throw-in.
Paul Couch very quiet today. He's really hasn't contributed at all to the Geelong cause.
Flanagan tries to tap it down to... There's a Gary Hocking on the bottom of it. Oh, gee whiz, he got up pretty quick. I would have thought he'd been holding his head after that. Gary Hocking kicks it towards centre half forward, and Ablett takes the mark. And good stuff by Gary Ayres there, because he could have really stood in Gary Ablett's road, but he got out of the way. Ablett's kick is a poor one, a shocker as a matter of fact, off the side of his boot into the pocket. Hocking, kick to the front of the goal square. Who kicked that? The Hawthorn player, because it's been awarded a behind. 2 players bustling in the goal square, and this could turn out nasty.
McGuinness and Brownless are the players on the bottom of the pack. I couldn't see much there to get upset about, but we've taken a disliking to each other.
Boys will be boys on a hot autumn afternoon at VFL Park. We've seen worse than this, I suppose, over the years. But the umpires quickly in to take control, and a behind is registered for Geelong.
11-9, the Cats. 18-18, Hawthorn.
And we settle down with Langford. Lawrence. Well, the young man from Morningside playing in his 5th game.
He's been fantastic since he came onto the ground, Bruce.
There'll be headlines about him on Monday. What a performance. Whitman. Brereton. Handball with some sting. Couch certainly not 100%. He's suffering from a shoulder. Christensen. Ablett. Langford did well. Kennedy. Quick kick by Madigan. And there are Hawks everywhere. Anderson had Jenk if he wanted him. Slips over. He's got Brereton very wide. Decides not to go that way. Looks towards Deere. Gurry falls over. Deere to Whitman. Drop punt. Will he goal? No. On the fall. Out of bounds.
Well, there's some worrying signs there, Ian, because a couple of Geelong players would not stand on the mark there in the centre of the ground. And if anything, Geelong should be working hard to make sure that they do stop the Hawthorn run, and they weren't on that occasion.
Greatest crime in the world, Bernie, to fall over in a situation like that with Michael Gurry, isn't it? Gave the Hawthorn man the opportunity for an easy kick. Tim Darcy's kicking towards half-back. No mark taken. And umpire calls on a bounce. Official attendance here at VFL Park, 41,694. And they've probably been a little disappointed since half-time. Maybe 10 minutes into the 3rd quarter was when Hawthorn asserted its superiority. Kick by Gary Hocking towards the wing. Pritchard runs onto it. Outside, 50 metres. Mark to Brereton.
Well, the pass was meant for Jason Dunstall. But a courageous mark there by Brereton, running with the flight of the ball.
Brereton has 3 goals in a handy afternoon's work for his side. And he's now kicked his 4th.
19-18 to 11-9. It's Hawthorn all the way at the park. Flanagan and Lawrence. Nobody really. Couch. One of the few times he's been able to break clear. Ablett. Or Brownless, I should say. Now, will Hocking take it against Collins? Langford. He'll play the percentage, I think. No, brushes Ablett off. They're playing with confidence and straight down Tuck's throat. Oh, this Hawthorn side's on fire. Tuck from centre wing. Pritchard, who was one of the stars last year in the grand final. 11th kick coming up. Dunstall on a long lead. Oh, too easy, but Darcy's free kick because he got into his back that time. Always a tough decision.
I'd like to have a look at a few more of those from side on.
Well, he does it all day, Dunstall, and I guess 50 times out of 100 he takes the mark and gets paid, and the other 50 times he gives away a free kick. Here's Tuck. Caught this time by Malakalis. One of the few times in the match that the veteran's been stopped. But he gets his own back. Kennedy, Condon, Madigan. Gee, it's good to watch. Jenke. He's got Brereton. He's got Dunstall. And he'll hit him on the chest.
You know where that started, Bruce? From a Michael Tuck smother of a hand pass that you picked up. He didn't give up. He was caught by Malakalis. He smothered the Malakalis handball, and look where the rebound finishes.
And John Kennedy was there mopping up. 5 goals by Dunstall. Long way out. Drop punt is good. It's long, it's strong, it's through. 20-18 to 11-9. Hawthorn all the way.
And that's 6 goals for Jason Dunstall. He's kicked 6 goals, 3. But as Ian Robertson said, it was where it did start was with Michael Tuck. He was dispossessed of the ball, but then he fought back. He just got his hand to it. And Hawthorn were able to take it away from the half-back line, get it down there, and plenty of space on the forward line for Dunstall to lead into.
Well, it's footy at its very best. And it's all one-way traffic. It's all Hawthorn, 138 to 75.
The bounce favours Lawrence. He really can't do much with the ball. but the irrepressible Hawks, this time it's Tuck getting the ball away from the centre, kicks it towards centre half forward. There's no one home. Jenke swoops onto it. Whitman does a blind turn. Morris, Hawthorn, and once again into an open goal goes Pritchard. Well, the elation on the face of Darren Pritchard as he kicked his second goal, and they may even get it out again. No, not this time. It's Malakalis for Geelong, kicking it high towards half forward, but sitting underneath it, taking the mark as Ayres. He quickly plays on to Kennedy. Terrific understanding between the experienced players in the Hawthorn side. The ball at the back. Christensen a little slow, but he gathers the ball and gets the hand pass back to the advantage of Stoneham. Stoneham's kick. Flanagan can't mark. Kick off the ground by Lawrence. No messing around. Whitman, a good tackle. The ball runs free. Bailey, handball to no one. Ayres. The kick by Ayres is high, wide. Underneath it was Deer. He just kicks it out of the hands of Gurry. It's up at half forward. Deer has it again. Outside 50 metres. Deer goes bang. The ball slews off the side of his boot. Darcy, but look at the tackle from Dunstall. They're leading by 10 goals, and have a look at the stuff.
The pace there shown by Jason Dunstall to get into that contest. Paul Deer is not a true ruckman. He's really a ruck rover size, but his mobility has been very good for Hawthorn on the forward line.
Schultz and Deer. Morris, who's had a great comeback, and he'll get a free kick. Didn't play in 1989. And today has had 12 kicks, 6 handballs, 7 marks. And I get the feeling, Bernie, that Hawthorn really want to bury Geelong today. They had trouble with them twice last year, and today they've kicked 12 of the last 13 goals. I think they'd like nothing more than to beat Geelong by as much as they can today and get rid of the challenge that they had last year from them.
Yes, I'm sure they do, Bruce, and maybe Geelong are the side that are in danger of falling down the ladder this season on today's form.
Well, it hasn't been a good start. First half was all right, but since then it's been one-way traffic. Lawrence. Well,
this guy's
forgot about the ball there, Flanagan. Forgot completely about the ball, and Lawrence kept his eyes on it and took the mark.
Brereton, no free kick. Dunstall. Quick handball round the body there by Denham. Malakalis. A short one. Bailey. Kennedy, a great tackle. And John Kennedy has been typical of Hawthorn today. 6 kicks and 12 handballs. And when it was tight and tough in that first quarter, Kennedy was to the fore. Look at this tackle on Malakalis.
Yes, wasn't that a committed tackle?
Morrissey. It's a good kick. Just missed. And as Ian's already told you, they call him the freak at Glenferrie Oval. Well, he can do some freakish things, James Morrissey. He's kicked 3-2 today.
Tim Darcy, well, I'm glad I'm not standing in his boots, because I think he'd be wondering what to do with that football. It just keeps on coming back into the forward line. This time it won't, because Geelong have taken the mark at half back. The kick goes wide. Collins backed himself. The kick back into the forward line for Hawthorn, a little too far. Just bounces inside the field of play. Then we'll have a boundary throw in. Half forward flank for Hawthorn. The play about 75 to 80 metres around from their goal. 21 goals 20. 146 to 11-9-75. The Cats have added 2 points. Coming off the field, looks like Madigan, is it? Whitman coming off, and Dixon going on. And another behind has been added while that happened. Kicked by Morris. Kicked in there by Darcy, and the mark taken by Yates.
Yates from the back pocket. Hocking. Couldn't take it. And it's going to be a throw-in. Well, poor Gary Hocking. Ball bouncing off his chest. Running out of bounds. And the 20,000 Hawks fans at the ground giving him a cheerio. Deer, who's got better and better as the game's gone on, but he's got some mates. Hocking. Cameron. Good shepherding by Christensen. Free kick surely for Hamilton. Not paid. Gee, I thought Kennedy was over his back and around his shoulder. Madigan. Jenke. It's like going out to training at Glenferrie Oval at the moment. Training drills. Morrissey. Brereton. And it'll be a throw-in. Gee, they've got confidence in one another. They know that someone's going to be there. There'll be another Hawthorn jumper to help them out when they're under pressure. And you get the feeling that the fans are celebrating here. They're really seeing a Hawthorn machine. Deer's kick is high. It's a good one. Dunstall. Well, he's got the safest pair of hands. If he was an outfielder in cricket, you'd back him every time. It was high, it was wobbly, but he never took his eye off it.
Just that little nudge once again, Bruce, helping get Darcy out of the way.
It's kick 6. This will be 7.
Well, Dunstall 7, Dermot Brereton 4, James Morrissey and Jenke have kicked 3 each. And for Geelong, Ablett has kicked 5 and Brownless has kicked 3. Geelong go into attack through Couch. Couch directs play towards centre-half forward. No mark taken. Langford pulled off the ball by Ablett. Didn't have it, says the umpire. And Langford will take the free kick. Langford at centre-half back for Hawthorn. The kick high towards the wing. Punched away by Schultz was good play. Ball goes wide. Oh, crude tackle by Gary Hocking. Ayres shows his displeasure. And Gary Ayres, I think, would be fairly happy because the scoreboard in favour of the Hawks dramatically. The kick by Anderson. Dixon takes the mark on centre wing. Dixon looking to play on fairly quickly towards centre-half forward. A great mark taken by Deer. Hand pass off to Whitman. One out, Dunstall and Darcy. Dunstall, goal number 8. Rounded to the right foot, goal number 8.
Well, what a performance by Hawthorn. Jason Dunstall, 8 goals, has been magnificent at full forward. Tim Darcy being banished, and Michael Schultz now about to play on Jason Dunstall, but all too late. A great mark there taken by Paul Deer. There's a kick into the forward line. Again, the two players battling each other, one-on-one. The strength of Dunstall winning out.
Gee, I think you could put anyone on him now, couldn't you, Bruce? Wouldn't make any difference. The ball just keeps on going down there.
He's red hot. In fact, he might be white hot. He's so hot. Lawrence again. Gurry. Hocking. And this is going to be a deep wound for Geelong today. It's going to take them some time to recover. Kennedy. If he's made a mistake, I haven't seen it. McGuinness, who started slowly today. Ablett gave him the stick, but he's grown in confidence. Dixon has just come on, gets his second kick. Anderson had a lot of touches. 18th kick coming up for Anderson. Condon's had 23. They're the tucks of the future. Dunstall again. Will it be 50? No. Christensen coming in late. It will be 50. Well, Christensen committed there. Dunstall taking the mark. Christensen going the other way.
Yeah, it's a tricky situation there, Bruce. We'll have a look at this replay. I think Marty Christensen really pulled back his tackle at the last moment there, Robbo, and maybe the 50 metres wasn't called for.
Well, he looked a victim. 9 goals to Dunstall.
So Jason Dunstall, the leading goal scorer on the ground with 9. Johnny Platten, I'm sure he would love to have been out there.
Gavin Exel now going down to fullback. Sorry, Robbo. Gavin Exel, who's been off the ground, is now playing at fullback after starting on the forward line.
Well, since quarter time, the Cats have kicked 6 goals, 6. Hawthorn have kicked 21-17. So they've dominated the 3 quarters since quarter time. Now the Cats get forward through Bailey. Bailey's kick up towards the full forward area as a Hawthorn mark. It's a juggling effort by McGuinness, but it certainly was a mark. Hand pass to Ayres. Ayres back onto the left foot. and with skill finds Kennedy at half-back. He's looking to hand pass over the top. Now goes with the left foot towards the wing. Dixon running onto it, overruns it completely. Leaves it. I don't know whether that was a plot. Certainly came out all right. Pritchard got it across to Tuck. It's at half-forward. Deer may even kick a goal here. It might bounce through. It has, or, well, I'd give it to Dunstall. 10 goals, Jason Dunstall. I'm sure. Well, what would you do in a situation like that? He's a very unselfish player.
No, I don't blame him for doing that, because I think the ball had cropped up and was sitting there, and you're not sure what would have happened. But look at this tap on from Dermot Brereton here. Just this quick little tap on to Paul Deer as he's running past. The long kick towards goal. It's bouncing, sitting up. Well, maybe it would have bounced through. He could have left that one, maybe. Robbo, having another look at that one.
Well, Dunstall's kicked 10 goals, 3 in that scoreline. And what a magnificent performance by Hawthorn.
Well, believe it or not, the Hawks have kicked the last 11 goals and have kicked 16 of the last 17. You would not read about it. It has been one-way traffic for the last quarter and a half. Linder in the front spot. Oh, Ablett crashed into Stoneham. They knock one another over almost. Kennedy. Can Geelong get a goal against the Tide? Ablett falls on top of it. Ayres, what a game. Kennedy to Jenke. Caught by Stoneham. Dixon. Still with Dixon. Tapped on by Kennedy. Brereton, they're playing basketball at the moment. Brereton looks for a free kick and he'll get it. Well, Geelong are hapless at the moment.
They're still working very hard, Hawthorn, aren't they, to win the ball out. At the base of the pack, they've been tremendous, and even though they're so far in front, they're continuing to do the hard things.
Condon, 24th kick, Dunstall. Oh, he's kicked 10. Well, I go back to that point I made earlier, Bernie, that I really think Hawthorn are trying to bury Geelong at Fairfield Park today.
They've done a pretty good job of it too, Bruce, haven't they?
It's going to be tough for the Cats the next time they line up against the Hawks. 10 goals to Dunstall. Drop punt. Has he missed? Think he has. Well, what a game. He's kicked, had 16 kicks and 11 marks, Ian.
There's one other thing as we see Damien Burke. Well, he'd be probably happy he's up in the grandstand, I would think. It's been an absolute thrashing for the Cats. A kick in by Exel goes to Baldwin. Back goes to Exel. Exel now kicks it out towards half-back. Geelong mark taken by Bailey.
You're going to tell us there's one more thing.
Well, their defence, Hawthorn, they just haven't given up, have they? They're lousy on a kick, and it's been up on that half-forward line for Geelong on a couple of occasions in this last quarter. But Hawthorn just keep on attacking that football. Couch has the ball, defensive side of the centre. High drop punt. No one home. Onto it goes Stoneham. Hand pass to Hocking. Gary Hocking, that is. Left foot kick by that player. May even bounce through. It's helped through the behind post, or the behind area by Gary Ayres. So Geelong score, and it'd be a long time between drinks, I would think. They've kicked 3 behinds in this last quarter, and Ayres will kick the ball back into play for Hawthorn. The short kick by Gary Ayres goes to McGuinness. McGuinness has the opportunity to go over the top to Whitman. He could go back. No, he elects to run on and kick ball high. Centre wing. Big punch from behind by Brownless. Bailey. Bailey's left foot kick towards centre half forward. Ablett has pushed off the ball. Tries to get back in after it. Gary Ablett can't do much with it. Umpire Shawley. Well, he elects that the player didn't move it on. And that was Stephen Lawrence by the look of it. He's been penalised. The free kick will go to Gary Ablett.
Yeah, it's the right decision too. The player over the ball, not making any effort.
Gary Ablett, who's kicked 5 from fairly limited opportunities, will be kicking from just under 45 metres. Drop punt kick. Distance is pretty good. Is the accuracy there? No, it's a behind. So Gary Ablett, 5 goals, 3. Up the other end, Jason Dunstall has kicked 10 goals, 4. Gary Ayres once again.
25-22 to 11-11. Ayres to bring it back in. Well, bookmakers in Victoria were betting 9-4 Hawthorn the flag before today. They might be big odds after this. I reckon they'll be into about 6-4. Brereton, who's just got better and better. And what about this practice match for them, Bernie? They didn't win one, did they, Hawthorn?
No, they're looking very ordinary, but Geelong weren't much better either, Bruce. So it just shows, after another great mark there taken by Dunstall, it just shows that you can discount a lot of the practice match form. There it is again, Jason Dunstall in front of Gavin Exel, who's been one of Geelong's poorer players.
He's taken 12 marks and kicked 10 goals. Drop punt, great kick. Mighty kick, another one.
Well, the strokes that you put beside a player's name to mark down goals, I've used up that, plus I've crossed out Jason Dunstall's name here. 11 goals, what a magnificent performance. Michael Tuck gets Hawthorn back into attack again, up inside 50 metres. The ball bounces away from the Hawthorn goal. Morrissey goes after it, helped out by Pritchard. The hand pass goes back towards Kennedy, and chipping in was Hamilton for Geelong to knock the ball over the line as Tuck goes off and Curran comes back on the field. And Peter Curran, Tuck has had 17 kicks and 3 marks, and Curran has spent quite a deal of time on the interchange bench.
I didn't even compete in that boundary throw in Geelong. Deere was able to take it out by himself without one Geelong player going near him.
Look at the unselfish play there by Dunstall trying to get it out to Condon. Christensen has the ball in the back pocket. The Hawks have kicked 8-4 to 4 behinds in this last quarter. The ball close towards the centre. Whitman just gets a quick kick out, and it was just enough to get the ball out in front of Paul Deere. Loping around the boundary line, he gives the hand pass to Kennedy. Kennedy's kick, no Dunstall mark this time. Gurry's under pressure. Here's a Hawthorn goal coming up. Dixon, Pritchard, and he's missed, hit the post. Well, maybe Darren Pritchard getting a little excited there. A couple of Geelong players pretty close to him as he kicked the ball. The angle was a little severe, and Exel will kick the ball back into play for Geelong. He goes to the outer side, and Brownless takes the mark over the top of Brereton.
And the margin is 15 goals 12. 17 goals a difference. Jenke kicked the first goal of the game, quiet in the first half, but has had a field day in the second half like all his mates. Brereton, Pritchard, Cameron with him. Still Cameron. Caught. Condon can kick a goal. Misses. Across the face. Behind. It's his 26th kick. And it's 26-24 to 11-11. We've got a lot of stars out there today.
Statistics, 227 kicks to 145 and 99 hand passes to 67.
No wonder they're in front. Flanagan scooped it out, but Morrissey took it. The long handball's a good one. Kennedy, Condon, 27th kick. Chips it to the goal square. Dunstall, yes. Well, Peter Hudson was a mighty full forward in the 60s and 70s, and to think that a club could have another great one like they've got with Dunstall in the 80s and 90s.
Yes, again, Exel doing everything he could to hold Dunstall away from that, but the great strength again of Dunstall winning out.
Well, what a start to 1990 for Jason Dunstall. Drop punt, goal.
So the umpire to restart with just a minute left in the game. Ball comes clear. Malakalis kicks the ball towards half forward. Defending well was McGuinness, and a mark taken for Geelong by Gurry. Deere. Well, it wasn't so long ago that that sort of thing would have been a 50-metre penalty, but umpire allowing it to just transpire with no penalty. Ball nearly finishes up with Bailey. He fights after it again. But look at that Hawthorn defence. Gee, they work overtime. Methodically, McGuinness gets his way through to give the hand pass off to Dixon. Dixon gives a hand pass to Curran. Curran had loved this, the last few minutes getting into the play. The tap on goes towards Anderson. He can't control the ball. Curran does a big knock on Baldwin. A short pass finishes with Dixon in the forward pocket. Unselfishly, Brereton. Brereton should kick a goal and does so. Brereton kicks his 5th goal. He's kicked 5 goals, 1. But the star of the day has been Jason Dunstall. He has kicked 12 goals, 4.
Yes, it's been a class performance by these two forwards, Dermot Brereton and Jason Dunstall, but the on-ball players have been very impressive. There's Dixon, who started off an interchange, handballing it over to Brereton, but the likes of Condon, Morrissey, Pritchard, these type of players have been getting the ball down to the forward line just time after time.
Well, the Cats won the reserves 29-8, and the Hawks are getting them back. What a performance this has been. They've kicked 19 of the last 20 goals as the siren sounds. Hawthorn at its very best. 28-24, 192, have buried Geelong 11-11, 77. Well, a remarkable, almost unbelievable scoreline here at VFL Park. Hawthorn 28-24, 192, absolutely thrashing Geelong, keeping them goalless in that last quarter, 11-11, 77. So a huge win for Hawthorn, the defending champions off to a flying start. At Princes Park, we showed you the highlights of the first half. Carlton right on top of Sydney. Sydney was coming back in the second half. Let's go out to Princes Park for the highlights of the second half of that game, Sydney against Carlton.
By Parsons. Kick up towards half forward. Bays can't take the mark. Potter gets it back to Bays. Distance-wise, he'll be okay. Accuracy is there. He's put it through. He'll look for a lead. It's a centering kick. Where's Fell? Leading out. Got a strong pair of hands and marks.
What a good mark.
What a great kick.
They were like a vice.
The goal here obviously would make it 2. And we've got 4 3/4 minutes left in the game. What's he done?
Yes.
It's a goal.
Towards the pocket. Fell comes over the top. Falls to Johnston. It was a Blackwell. Blackwell who picked it up. Got it to Kernahan. Potter. Bays. Mitchell. A snap at goal. It's good.
It's home.
They've never been in front all day. They're in front now.
So an amazing comeback by Sydney to take the points at Princes Park. 15-14, 104. They'll be celebrating in the Harbour City. Carlton, after looking winners all day, 14-15, 99. Other matches, North Melbourne and Melbourne. Melbourne comfortably in front all day. That's a good performance by the Demons. 22-10, 142. North Melbourne 12-17, 89. And Essendon well on top against Fitzroy. 20-21, 141 to Fitzroy 8-12, 60. So some big results there with Melbourne winning and also Essendon, but an upset at Princes Park with the Swans getting up to defeat the Blues. Tonight, it's Richmond against Brisbane at Carrara, live on 7. And the Bears, who finished last year off well with a new coach with Norm Dare, against the Tigers. Tomorrow, West Coast against Collingwood in Perth from Subiaco from 2 o'clock. And then Footscray against St Kilda. Dunstall kicked 12 today. I wonder how Tony Lockett will go tomorrow. Some stations taking that around the 7 network. Well, we've got some great games next week as we look at round 2. Richmond, North Melbourne Friday night. Carlton and Collingwood on Saturday. Melbourne and Geelong. Well, Geelong will want to bounce back. Fitzroy against Brisbane. St Kilda, West Coast. But what about this game? Essendon, who've had a big win today, and Hawthorn at Windy Hill. It'll be a beauty. And on the Sunday, it's Sydney and Footscray. Australia won the Davis Cup today, or went to a 2-1 lead in the Davis Cup. It's been a great afternoon of footy on AFL Live. Hope you've enjoyed it, and stay with 7 Sport.
All the world needs heroes. One for all and all for one. We stand with pride beside Australia's favorite sons. They got the spirit and passion. They got the spirit and the passion. And the best is yet to come.
For more football action, join us tonight at 10:40 for our telecast of the clash between the Brisbane Bears and Richmond.
Australia's favorite sons.